What's going on? What's going on, good people? This is your boy, Ryan Walker, better known as the historian. You already know how we get down with it or whatnot, man. Getting ready to get this thing started tonight with the Falcons fan club, as we would say, but better known as the Birdcage, man. I got a lot of good stuff that's going to be happening tonight. Tonight, we're starting off something a little different tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We got it on YouTube tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So if you can't get to us on our Facebook groups, definitely check us out on YouTube, man, because we are right here. So I'm going to start off by bringing my guy, Killian Worthy, into the building. Want to shout out to everybody that's starting to join us and file in or whatnot. We got a jam-packed show for you tonight. And also, we're going to be bringing a special guest into the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned for that. And like I said, sit back, relax, kick back. If you got something to drink, sip a little something. If you're a smoker, go ahead and cheat a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. Gotta live a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing started right. I gotta bring in my man K-Dub, Killer Killian Worthy, into the building. So I'm bringing him in right now. What's going on, big bro? What's happening with it?
What's up, Birdcage Nation? Good to see everybody this week. Good to be in the building. Good to talk Falcon football this week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know what it is, man. Outside of the other platforms that we got, we doing a little something different tonight, man. We got it going on in YouTube tonight. The start of something different, my guy. Okay. So we got to spread the good vibes, not only on Facebook, but we spreading this thing all the way around, baby. Birdcage has started to expand those wings, and we starting to fly. We fly high when they fly low. You already know how it go.
Already.
Yes, sir. So other than that, man, how you been doing this week, man?
I've been doing pretty good, man. Just chugging along, trying to get to the bottom of the end of the week. You know what I'm saying? So, but other than that, man, let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's get to the out the cage segments. Let's get
yes, sir. Well, we're gonna be adding some people in here while we're doing the out the cage segment. So if this is your first time ever joining us or whatnot, ladies and gentlemen, the Out the Cage segment is pretty much news that's going around in the sports world, mainly football. But, we got two other things we got to talk about today concerning, college basketball, because it's March Madness for my tournament lovers. Pat Ewing has resigned. Well, I'm sorry, Pat Ewing and Georgetown came to a mutual agreement. They parted ways. He only had one Big East title, had a terrible showing at his alma mater. We wish him well on his way. And Jim Boeheim, the Syracuse legend, has retired. So that's just a little something on the scoop where we talk about a little basketball. But we got to get to our out the cage topics or whatnot, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty much getting to it. So the first thing that we have with the out the cage topics right now is concerning salary cap, because everybody right now is in a position where quarterbacks are getting everything when it comes to guaranteed contracts. And we're having a little bit of controversy with Mr. Lamar Jackson at this time with his contract. Daniel Jones signed one second, I'm actually trying to clear my throat a little bit. He signed a $160 million contract that is worth $82 million guaranteed. Not guaranteed, guaranteed. I had to throw a little Creole spice up in there for you. But it's guaranteed or whatnot. ESPN has actually confirmed this, as well as $35 million in incentives. And Saquon Barkley ended up getting franchise tag for $10.991 million in 2023 under the non-exclusive franchise tender. How do you feel about this, man?
Well, I feel like hey, that's their prerogative. That's what they want. That's the direction they want to go in. They let them go in that direction.
So here's the question, man, because we got a lot of folks right now that's a little upset with what's going on, and we're gonna touch on that tonight. But all I'm saying is, with all the money that Joker been stealing, man, you might as well say it like this: Daniel Jones ain't nothing but a professional thief, dog. That's all he is, straight thief. Let's just be real on that. We remember a day when running backs were respected and running backs actually were a commodity. But now, because it's such a passing league now, you don't have to concern with running backs no more. The days of 4 down horseman type backs are gone.
Yeah, I mean, they've basically devalued and basically kind of almost ran out the league of running backs. But if you're a receiving back, you may have a little bit of time in the league because it is a passing league. So if you're very versatile and be able to pass protect very well and receive out of the backfield, you make yourself more valuable. The old school just run it between the tackles, four clouds of dust, and you know what I'm saying, 4 yards in a cloud of dust, those days are gone. So you have to be more versatile, uh, be able to catch it out of the backfield, be more of a receiver these days. But I believe that it always revolves in a circle, and the running back position will come back eventually, and halfbacks. I mean, not halfback, but fullback. Uh, so
Mm.
so
So
man,
when you say, so here's my question, bro. So when you say the fullbacks or whatnot, it's really only one. It's really only two teams that you see using fullback heavy into the league at this point: the San Francisco 49ers and Shanahan's offense with Justin Juszczyk, and then you have us, the Falcons, right now using a fullback in pretty much majority of our formations or whatnot. How do you feel as if the running back position is going to end up being? Because Zeke Elliott is the last person to really get guaranteed money. And with as bad as he's played or whatnot, I think that's hurt a lot of running backs around the league. How do you feel about it?
I mean, it has hurt a lot of running backs around the league. Like I said, right now the running back position is taking a major hit, but
Mm-hmm.
I believe that the running back position will always be needed, and it will be valued more in the future. I'm just saying, right at this moment in 23 and in the last about 4 to 5 years, they'd be valued. But if you're a
Well,
receiving,
when you say
if
Well,
you're a
when you
receiver,
say they've devalued, I mean, is it because they're not four down backs anymore? Is it because they're, I don't know, how could I put it, man? Do you think it's because of the fact that they're really looking at a running back is one hit away from being done career wise? Because the average life of a running back really is 3 to 4 years.
yeah. Well, I mean, like I say, that because teams are just looking to exploit, the secondaries, what I'm saying, because it's a passing league, because of the rules of the league. I feel
Mm-hmm.
they need to make the rules a little bit more defensive wise, like, kind of push the lever a little bit more toward the defense having a little bit of some advantages. Then you may see the running back come back more to play because they can get away with so much on that back end with receivers getting flags and offensive penalties and defensive holding and defensive pass interference downfield, that they're going to exploit that. That's the way to move the chains without actually catching the football. So I mean, I would, if I was an offensive coordinator, I would explore those avenues also. So I mean, we'll see. Like I said, it's a revolving door. It's always going with a different trend that went on back in those days. So it just takes offensive coordinators and offensive minds that want to use the fullback, that want to get back to running the football like with a Derrick Henry or with the Ezekiel Elliott, or someone that can really take that pounding. But right now, it's really a rotational back type of league because of so much speed, so much injuries at the running back position. You need to carry at least 2 to 3 running backs on your roster at all times.
Well, I just say this here. With this whole situation and whatnot, we already see what it is, man. So welcome, welcome, welcome to those who are just joining us. And thank you for stepping away from what you're doing and giving us a couple of minutes of your day, really an hour or so, just a little something for Falcons fans and really football fans in general, man. So a little something I had to do a little differently tonight. Last week I had to give you a little something you wanted, Killian. You wanted the old school Georgia Dome, but tonight I had to go old school and put Fulton County Stadium in, one of the greatest places that we had before Falcons fans got bougie, sipping tea with the pinkies up and everything, man. So you already know what it is, man. But so the second thing we have, the New York Jets management, they have gone all out for Aaron Rodgers. All out. From the general manager, the owner, the coach, the offensive coordinator. They literally packed up majority of everybody that's gonna mean something. Heck, even the trainer got on the private jet. They all flew out to California, Northern California, or whatnot, to the Bay Area, or as some of my friends and my partners, we actually have a Falcons fan that is from the Bay Area in here, but it's better known as the Yay Area. Got to throw that out there for my people out there in the Bay. They went out there to the Bay Area or whatnot, pretty much just to check out Aaron Rodgers, to really invest into him. You know how you say you go to Vegas and you put your chips all on the table? You have Jimmy G that's still out there and Jacoby Brissett who would fit their offense, but they're putting everything in and hoping that Aaron Rodgers signs with them. But Aaron Rodgers is like a fart in the wind. Let's just be real on that, man. It's like, hey, if he ends up getting in a situation to where he's uncomfortable, he'll change his mind every other day because he enjoys the attention. He's a diva. How do you feel about Mr. Rodgers?
Well, like I say, the Jets can need all the improvement they can get. So I feel like he's a diva, but he learned from the best. He learned from Brett Favre, so he would just want to be another Brett Favre. If the Jets want to go down that road, they want to go down and kick that can, then go ahead and let them do that, because right now they're in a situation with the guy they drafted out of BYU. And I mean, right now they don't have an established true starter up there. So if I was a Jet, I would just go ahead and see what he wants to do and go ahead and explore that avenue. But I mean, that's the organization that the Jets are, and they went down this road before in the past. So I don't see why you want to try it again.
Well, I mean, let's call it for what it is, man. Zach Wilson is a guy, the quarterback that you're talking about with the Jets and whatnot that they drafted. He really is a different kind of guy. All the physical tools in the world just haven't translated over, and they haven't been winning. Let's just be real. They had a good team. They started to make runs, but let's just be real on this, man. When you look at the Jets, they're primed to win right now. Good offensive line, good running back, and Breece Hall once he comes back. You have a solid wide receiver core who can make some things happen, and then they have a very underrated defense or whatnot up in New York. So they're built and ready for a playoff run. You bring Aaron Rodgers into the mix with these young guys that's hungry, that don't know any better, you might have a championship run on your hands. I'm just saying, because of what he can do. Best thrower of the football, and the best thing about it is he likes to be in the media. He's going to be a hired mercenary, and he'll probably get things that most won't. But outside of Aaron Rodgers or whatnot, let's go ahead and say this here. Now you have free agency that's getting ready to come up, and it's getting ready to be a bonanza. You actually have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or as we would call them, the Yuccaneers or whatnot, or the Yucks for us. You have the Tampa Bay Bucks releasing Donovan Smith and a second-round draft pick in 2015. He was 29 years old. He started 124 games or whatnot, and that's the most by any offensive lineman in the league from 2015 to 2022. When you look at the stability that he has, and he's been able to play out of 124 games, that's a lot of games right there for you, talking about a guy not being hurt and a guy being able to put some things and a guy being able to put some things in the play or whatnot. So when you look at it, last year was his worst season that he ever had. He's been in the league for 8 years. 7 years he's been solid. He had his worst year last year. But at the same time, he's been dealing with injuries now that he's older. So you're talking about foot and elbow injuries, and that's major for a left tackle position. So how do you think that this is going to pan out for them? Because they're $8 million over the cap right now. They're still trying to make moves right now and get rid of players and cut guys to bring them in to finesse some money so they can sign their rookie class.
I mean, they're gonna have to cut this guy, man. I mean, all these injury problems. I mean, I feel like he's kind of like a burden on the team. That's just my assessment of it. I mean, I feel like move on and let's go ahead and attack some other parts of the team that we need to do. That's just my assumption of the situation.
Well, we also got to welcome one of our other panel members or whatnot. He's currently a head football coach out in Phoenix, Arizona, or whatnot, high school coach at that, molding young minds and trying to get guys to get ready for the next level of participating in college, and possibly might give us a couple of draft picks if they listen to him. We got Coach Cam in the building. What's happening, Coach?
What's going on, people?
Hey, man, you already know what it is. So for my StreamYard users that are just getting in here or whatnot, please, please, please get into the yard or whatnot. Click on the link so we can see you because we want to acknowledge your comments, man. We're very happy that you guys really are here and actually doing a little something with us tonight. You know, doing a little something before 3 something. I ain't gonna say 2 something because hey, man, we stay up a little bit later. Uncle Shay, Uncle Shay is an old man, so he go to bed at 2. We go to bed at 4, 5 in the morning. Us military boys.
Yeah.
So gotta say what's up, man. So we've got a special guest coming into the building tonight. Our brother, our partner, Mr. Marcus Washington, the legend himself. What's going on, Marcus?
What's going on, man? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
We see. And
man.
Before you get started, ladies and gentlemen, the picture that you see on the screen for our guy Marcus, this is his podcast called On the Mark. Please support this brother. Puts a lot of good info out when it comes to football, life, advice, anything that you think of. This man literally prepares like a chef. Heck, he probably cooking bread right now.
I wish, man. I wish.
Hey, man. So welcome to the cage, man. The last time you was in the cage, man, it got a little wild, but we here tonight, baby. It's a lot tamer this time.
Yeah.
So we got to jump on this or whatnot. So getting into we're in our segment of the show where we call it On the Cage or whatnot, my brother. And Out the Cage, my brother. Where we're talking about different things that are going on around the league before we touch on the Falcons. So right now we're actually getting ready to touch on a former New York Jet, Mr. Geno Smith, has signed a 3-year contract for $75 million with the Seattle Seahawks, including an average salary of $25 million. And this is for a guy that became from being a journeyman to literally, losing his starting job and revamping his career in Seattle. I'm gonna let the guest of the show tonight start off with this one. How do you think that going to Seattle has revitalized this brother's career to put some money in his pocket?
It wasn't just going. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh no, man. Go ahead, dog.
With Geno, the one thing that he always says that he never gave up on himself. Everyone else counted him out, but him. He kept his focus high. He believed in himself, and then he also was humble enough to learn under Russell Wilson. He didn't take it for granted. He learned a position. He followed arguably, a top 5 quarterback in our league. And now he's playing at a level that a lot of people say he couldn't. So he revived himself by just, honestly, just keeping one foot in front of the other. He never got too down on himself. He never, tried to force his way into a position. He learned, he watched, and he grew. And it showed this season, like in a lot of times he carried that football team. So with his mentality of being a leader for one, because as a leader, you have to be able to sit back and follow. You don't always have to be the one in the front. You also have to learn how to lead from the back. So with his perspective and his mentality, it proved vital for him this season. Took the Seahawks to the playoffs, and then he got paid for it. So, kudos to him, and hopefully he builds on it.
Marcus?
Man, listen, honestly, Geno did what Russ has been doing in that system. Russ's issue was he wanted to cook. Look at what they got him in Denver. You look at what Geno's doing, it's essentially what Russ was doing when he wasn't allowed to cook. Wasn't making a lot of mistakes, run heavy team, rely on the play action, a lot of good stuff. And listen, man, Geno has always been a serviceable QB. You can tell like he's matured in patience, getting the ball in the right spot. And what I like about this contract is it's not breaking this team. Most of these contracts that these quarterbacks are getting now are absolutely ridiculous, man. This is a nice think about this. He got paid $75 million. Daniel Jones stuck up the Giants for 150 million, and he's mediocre at best, bro. Mediocre at best. And he stuck him up for 150 mil. I'm taking Geno over Daniel Jones any day of the week. Mind you, they didn't even know if they wanted Daniel Jones last year. And the end result, both of these teams made it to the playoffs. Both of them got knocked out. But one of these quarterbacks actually gives you an opportunity to go out and build around them. So I'm happy for Geno, man. You know, this shows that you can always get up off the mat while everybody has you down for the count and think that you done with. You know, what he did in Seattle, and when you look at it, people in Seattle do not miss Russ. Usually when a player of that caliber leaves, you miss him a little bit. Geno actually helped them get over Russ quick. So, hey, man, I'm happy for him, and I'm happy he got his money.
Yeah. Okay. Killian, what you got for me?
Man, I mean, really to piggyback off what Marcus was saying, I mean, I'm just really happy for him because, you know, he stood the test of times. You know what I'm saying? He sat behind and continued to, you know, work on his craft. And when he got another opportunity to start and be a viable, you know, asset in this league, he showed improved, and now he got a nice deal for the team and for himself also. But you know, just got to continue to improve on that. Don't just be, you know, just settle and continue to work on that passing and continue to work on what he built upon this season and go into next season and continue to win that division.
Yes, sir. And honestly, when you sit back and you look at what's going on when you talk about the Giants, like Marcus said, he committed robbery. I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man. This dude committed highway robbery without a gun and got away with it. So honestly, now you're not gonna be able to build up anything when it comes to your offensive line, which was inconsistent during the season. And then you talk about that defense. They always have a good defense in New York, but they're going to suffer because dudes are going to say, hey, man, we want our bread. We're going to get paid, you know, but we got to get to it, man. So shout out to Geno for getting his money, man. I'm all about the brothers getting their money when it comes to that, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this one actually hurts, ladies and gentlemen. This one's going to hurt. Chuck Smith, longtime Atlanta Falcon defensive end who helped us get to our first Super Bowl and literally has been an ambassador, not just for the Falcons, but also the community in Atlanta and also around the state of Georgia with his pass rush academy. He's been helping high school kids and college kids, and he also has been working with NFL players, coaching guys on how to pass rush and how to do things. Now, what sucks is this. We've been complaining about the pass rush for years since John Abraham left. We haven't had a pass rush since John Abraham and Patrick Kearney and Corey Bierman. We haven't had a pass rush really since then. And let's be honest about it. This man literally has worked wonders with so many different players. Let's be real on that. And, you know, I got to give a shout out to my guy Brant and my guy Melton or whatnot. They Tennessee Volunteers, so, you know, they smiling from ear to ear because that's a Tennessee guy right there. It's still dogs. It's still the national champ. So go ahead and bite on that. But we should have brought this brother in literally to be our defensive line coach and our pass rush coordinator. This man is a pass rush specialist. The problem that we have right now is this dude, right? I mean, people that's in the front office don't know how to bring in people that understand football. You bring in a guy like that that's in your backyard. Most of those kids that he's worked with, I'll say 65 to 70% have gone to the NFL or gone to college. 60 to 70% of those guys have a great success rate. So when you talk about that, how do you pass up on somebody like this in your backyard? Baltimore, that's been known for defense, they've shuffled around a couple of pieces. They bring this man in. They already got a stingy defense. And now you bring in a guy who's a pass rush specialist, they're going to be a serious problem. I'm going to let Killian start this one off. What you got, Killian?
Yeah, man. It's going to be a serious problem for sure. And Chuck Smith, I wish he could have came to the Falcons. I mean, I really did. You know what I'm saying? That, I mean, that really hurts me because, you know, he really was vying for, you know, when Dan Quinn was here, was really trying to get a part of this team. And just to see the Falcons turn their back on him. And now he going to show out. He going to show out. I mean, he's going to show the Falcons what they could have had if they would have turned to him when Dan Quinn was here. Now Arthur Smith is in town. Now he probably like, okay, I'm not even worried about the Falcons. I just want to help, you know, young guys and young men become great, outstanding pass rushers. So now they've got Monk. Now they got Chuck Smith. So you know, it's we're gonna see what's going on up there in Baltimore. Now, but I mean, as far as with the Falcons, you know, we got to see what we're gonna do. So, but as far as the Ravens, I feel like they got him one with that one. That's just my opinion. You know, I'm a Chuck Smith guy, you know, because he's an ex-Falcon, but that's just me.
That's about the only thing he get love from me about is him being a Falcon. But you know that volunteer stuff got to go. But I gotta welcome to the club. I gotta welcome to the clubhouse tonight. Welcoming into the cage or whatnot. He just got off work. He's dedicated to us, man. He ain't running on CP time. He getting this money to pay these bills. Shake a little, you know, throw a little change. You know what I'm saying? My man Graybeard, better known as Glenn Smalls. What's happening?
Man, still got the vest on.
Yes, sir.
hey, man. Gotta get it, man. Gotta get it, man. Birdcage family, man. How y'all feeling tonight, man?
What's up,
going on?
Man, big brother Marcus, man, AKA Marcus Verkin the Machine. How you been, man?
Man, I've been hanging in here, man. How about yourself?
Shit, tired of shit. I ain't gonna even hold you, but I'm here.
Hey, man, this is what we do, man. We're dedicated to all these viewers out here, man. We got folks that's hard at work that come in because we're gonna bring some stuff to you, baby. The Birdcage is on the roost, man. So what you got for us, Glenn? How do you feel about Chuck Smith jumping up to Baltimore and finally getting an opportunity to be a coach?
Man, Falcons are dumb as hell. I mean, how long Chuck Smith been in our backyard?
Chuck Smith been in our backyard since he retired from the league.
Exactly. I mean, exactly. We had too many years and too many opportunities to bring that man on our coaching staff to help our defense that's been bottom tier for the past. Yeah, Daddy Glenn. Yeah, I like that. But that's been bottom tier.
Hold up, let's get this straight. Ain't nobody in here to call you Daddy, brother. Your ass is Graybeard.
Velcro beard. That's what you.
Hey,
we are not calling you that, bro.
Hey, man, give me some
RJ. Hey, man, RJ, that's between y'all two. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Oh man, now here y'all go, man. I'm going off a cliff. But nah, man, getting back to Chuck Smith, we had him in our backyard. I mean, we could have brought this man in, I don't know how many times, on our defense that's been buck cheap. For how long?
We ain't been worth it. We ain't been worth two dead last man.
So congratulations on him finally getting the opportunity. Baltimore got a good guy. He's gonna get these guys up to speed and whatnot. And when Baltimore defense once again get back to prominent to that top 10, top 5, we're gonna be in here at ATL. We're gonna be like, damn, coulda, woulda, coulda, but we didn't.
So Marcus, how do you feel about this? We let something like that right now, you know, slide out of our backyard the way that we did.
I mean, it's nothing new, man. You know, we've seen this happen before. First of all, I'm glad that, you know, Chuck Smith got an opportunity. Baltimore is going to need the defense because I don't know where the hell their offense is going to come from this season if they don't have Lamar Jackson. So they're planning for the future. And I mean, you know, Chuck Smith, you know, for what it's worth, this doesn't really, how can I put this? This don't really hurt me as much because I knew when we signed our new DC, these guys come in, they want to get their guys. And maybe Chuck Smith just wasn't on his radar. You know, he wants to bring in his guys. And if I'm looking at what the Saints defense has done the last 4 or 5 years, and this guy has been in the mix. Chuck Smith not being, our line coach don't really affect me as much because I'm like, hell, the Saints have been top 10 defensively for a minute. So apparently this guy does know what he's doing. But at the same time, hey, listen, man, Chuck Smith getting that opportunity, hopefully he's great in that position. Then he moves up, in a couple of years, maybe he gets, defensive coordinator job, a DC job. Who knows? But this is a start. I like to see, what that defensive line and what that defense together is going to look like anyway. But like I said, man, they gonna need it. So it really wasn't that hard of a hit for me. It's great to see him get an opportunity.
Most definitely. So we've all touched on that. I got one feel good story before we start getting into the dirtiness of these birds. Let's just be 100. So Vikings wide receiver KJ Osborne saved a man in Austin, Texas from a burning car. Pretty much off the highway. 3 other bystanders helped him. They pulled a guy out of a burning car, and it was underneath the freeway pass. That's a beautiful thing that happened. One story from a guy, and I go old school for my old school football lovers here. It kind of reminds me of hearing about a running back that used to play for Kansas City back in the day by the name of Joe Delaney. Joe Delaney was literally going to be one of the best running backs in the league during the 80s or whatnot. He couldn't swim a lick, but 2 kids fell into a pool in the Kansas City area. He saved them from drowning, but lost his life tragically. Fortunately, this man was able to save him. He and KJ and 3 other bystanders were able to save this man's life from this burning car. So, it's a beautiful thing that he got recognized, but, I think it was just an act of a good Samaritan. And hey, you don't really see too many stories like that no more, man. Most of the time you see a lot of guys being exploited.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
That's what I was thinking about this whole situation. It's just something positive about a player instead of something negative about him beating up his girlfriend or crashing a car. Just something negative. Yeah. So just something positive. Put the players in a positive light, and feel good story. That's what I felt about it.
Yeah.
Now, here's the other thing. So here's the other thing I was going to throw to you guys or whatnot. So now that we've gotten through that, now we've got to get to, is what we would say, our Dirty Bird topics. So pretty much concerning the Falcons. So we're getting ready to start this off in a sentimental way because we literally just got off a feel-good story. Here's another story that, ladies and gentlemen, does concern us because a lot of Falcon fans, including myself, I'm gonna admit that I was wrong. I'm one of the ones who advocate for mental health, being a veteran who suffers from certain issues when it comes to mental health. And some of my guys on the panel also understand that because they're veterans as well, and they have friends or they're affected directly by that. So it's a serious thing when we talk about that. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is Calvin Ridley. He pens a letter and an apology and understanding to the city of Atlanta and also the fans of the NFL. Anybody that knows his story, he grew up in South Florida around the Miami area, Coconut Grove area, whatnot. Just long story short, he moved from foster home once his parents were out there living life. He lived in the peanut butter projects, as we would say. Different when we say peanut butter projects that are painted with different hot, pretty much fluorescent colors. That's why we call it that. He stayed in those, made it at Alabama, got to the NFL, did his thing or whatnot. He's literally had a hard life, not being an orphan, but moving from home to home and really taking care of his brothers before he was reunited with his mom and his high school years. So football was really his outlet and everything. And people don't know, in the letter, he also stated that he played with a broken foot. People don't even know this. Now, if you got a chance to read the letter and you talk about it, but there were a lot of Falcon players not just playing hurt, but the medical staff did them a disservice because there were guys that were not just injured, they were not just hurt, they were actually injured and they were playing on pain meds or whatnot. And Calvin Ridley played with a broken foot. And for him to put up consecutive 1,000-yard seasons the way that he did on a broken foot says a lot. It says a lot. Now, the thing that he said what happened, what messed him up was he ended up being in a situation where he was at a game. He was taken away from his mental health because of things that were going on in his house or whatnot. Everybody remembers when he got robbed last year. They had it on camera. He said it was 5 individuals who entered his home that were armed to the teeth, and no one was in the house, thank God. He said all they had was chains and things that they could replace. But what messed him up, because he's always been the type to hold stuff in and carry things internally, was he was thinking about his 2-year-old daughter and his wife if they had been in that house. That was what messed him up. His wife was paranoid and they didn't sleep well at night. So he literally was taking meds coming to work, literally taking medicine to run because his foot was messed up because the doctors misdiagnosed him. And I'm not even going to say it was accidentally. I think they diagnosed him purposely because they wanted him to play because he was an investment. And there are many Falcon players that have came out and were bitter leaving Atlanta. So let's just be real on that. Calvin Ridley apologized about, the gambling situation because he was having a mental breakdown, from a mental breakdown to just being bored around the house, and he started gambling on NBA games, and he gambled on the Falcon game. He gambled for the Falcons, not against them. It wasn't because he had inside info. And if anybody has ever dealt with depression, anybody that has ever dealt with any type of mental health, and I'm not making no excuse for it, if you've ever been depressed, you don't have too many cares about much in this life. I can speak on that, because I've gone through that. You know what I'm saying? Being a vet and seeing different things and doing different things. And so some of my counterparts. That was the reason why he gambled. Now, he didn't make an excuse for it. He said he fucked up. Let's just be real. He said he fucked up in the left. But I can respect him even more for taking ownership and not making excuses. How do y'all feel about this one? I want Cam to start with this one, and then I'm gonna go Glenn, and then I'm gonna go my man Killing to wrap that one up. What you got for me, Cam?
First and foremost, I just want to pray for the young man. Hopefully that his mental health is getting in a place where he's working it out. He's either seeking therapy or he's openly speaking to other people. But coming from the perspective of someone who has mental health issues, former suicide attemptee, things like that, it's really hard to see the light when you're so far in the dark. And I understood exactly where he was coming from, and I was one of the people who really advocated, for Calvin Ridley. And a lot of people, felt like I was, making excuses for him, or whatever the case is. But a lot of people don't understand when you're that deep in hurt, pain, fear, not just for yourself, but you have a 2-year-old daughter who can't defend herself. You have a wife who can't defend herself. So when you're living in that world and you're the breadwinner for your mom, dad, cousins, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard to say, wow, I could have lost my life during this situation. I could have lost my daughter in this situation. So I get where he's coming from. So just praying for him. Hopefully that he makes a full recovery as far as health wise as well as his mental. And I forgave the man a long time ago. So I just wish him the best.
No, I mean, we all wishing the best for the brother, because there's a lot of things out here, like you say, that people don't understand. Those demons, and God forbid he was suicidal, because people don't understand that comes from that depression as well. And a lot of folks really, if you've never dealt with depression and grief or anything that literally throws everything off, and you've never really processed that, you won't understand. But Glenn, what you got for me?
Yeah, just to piggyback on Cam, man. First and foremost, man, I'm glad he's all right. Uh, we're gonna try to keep him in prayer for real, because depression is real, man. Coming from somebody that did 3 combat tours, man, when you just over there overseas, man, you're away from family, away from friends, man. The constant threat that you go through, man, it wear and tear on you. I mean, mentally and physically, man. So I'm glad, I'm glad he stepped up. I'm glad he kept it for full accountability for his actions and whatnot. And you know what? I expect him to do great things, man. He in a new situation now, brand new start for him to get back grounded. You're close to the family now, back in Florida, man. So I'm really glad that really slowly but surely start to turn things around and whatnot, and get back on the good path, man. So, not everybody's not so lucky, you know, for especially in his situation, especially getting robbed last year. So, yeah,
Look
man,
what happened to
keep
Sean
pushing.
Taylor back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm glad for him, man. I wish him the best, man. And yeah, man, and I commend him for apologizing not only to the Falcons, but and to the entire NFL fan base, man. It's a good look for him.
So what you got for us, Marcus, better known as Mr. Negro Damas?
Man, first off, let me say this. Calvin Ridley's letter isn't your basic prototypical letter that you see athletes write or statements that they make. You look at when Ja Morant made his statement, it was very short, very brief. I'm gonna take some time away from the game, this, that, and the other. This is a pretty long ass letter.
Yeah.
And he touches on a lot of stuff. The timing is perfect for him because he's going to be in the Jaguars uniform come training camp. Also, this works on a business side too because he is going to be playing for an extension. That actually helps us on that second pick. So I want him to ball out. Like, I'm one of those guys. I want him to make the roster and I want him to ball out. I've always said this. Calvin Ridley, when he was playing with for us, was one of the best route runners in the game. Even when Julio was on the other side. When Julio was missing games, Calvin Ridley was still getting his yards. So on the football field, this man is a beast. My one thing I wish that he could take back is all the shit he was putting on social media when this was going down. This kind of made people look at him like, man, what in the hell are you doing? You even had people talking about, bro, get off your social media. People thought his account was being hacked. He's like, no, nigga, this me. This me. So looking and reading this letter, man, first of all, I don't hold no fault on Calvin Ridley anyway. It is what it is, man. This is a business. I hate to see that he's not going to be a Falcon, but I think he's going to be a threat up there in Jacksonville, and everybody deserves a second chance, man. When it comes to things like depression, and anxiety, he talks about, that type of stuff where, he couldn't play the London game because he couldn't even think about leaving his wife and his kid by themselves. So I understand that. Hell, I probably would have did the same thing too. Man, fuck this game. I can't leave them. You know what I mean? Like they broke into my house. This isn't John, from the east side of Decatur. This Calvin Ridley, they broke into my house, bruh. Like, I'm looking at it, man. I read the letter and I'm like, hey, man, you don't even need to apologize to me, bro. Because honestly, if I'm being real, I kind of forgot about all that stuff during this season anyway. So life goes on. I wish this man the best. He's a dog on the football field, but it does raise a concern on this staff though. If this man was playing on a broke foot, and he was, y'all remember there was a player that retired because of shit like this, and Andrew Luck. The Colts haven't been the same since.
Yeah.
So now I'm looking at the staff and I'm like, okay, bro, y'all were misdiagnosing this guy, saying it was bone spurs, and this man talking about, no, my shit broke. And even with this man he caught 1,300 yards in receiving,
10 touchdowns to go with it.
So I'm like, bro, he was playing like this on potentially a broke foot.
Yeah.
So Jacksonville about to get a straight up dog. Now, his mental health is back, is back where it needs to be. He's in a space to where he feels comfortable. He's ready to play football. And mind you, Jacksonville made the playoffs without Calvin Ridley. So once they get him, I'm telling y'all, This one hurts me more than it does Julio.
Marcus, here's the other thing. Like now, you just mentioned something. I'm gonna put this out here. Now, when you talk about Red or whatnot, he wasn't the only player because Julio was dealing with injuries. Tack McKinley was dealing with shoulder injuries. Marlon Davidson was dealing with injuries. So think about it. This training staff that was there, that was diagnosing these guys and just throwing them out there, most of these guys, pretty much everybody got cleaned out. When Arthur Smith fired everybody, everybody got cleaned out. So when you look at it, let's be real on this, fam. The Atlanta Falcons got rid of the old staff, but you know they're still going to come under investigation. You're lucky that this kid ain't suing you. You know, in this situation, if you knew that, this is what I'm going to say. I hated that they decided to let him go because I'm going to be real with you. First round pick like that, I ain't letting him walk like that, bro. Especially with now that the stuff is coming out. I'm gonna say this here. I was wrong about it because I thought he was on the BS with his mental health, and he was at the SEC championship game the year the Dogs won the championship. A lot of us were pissed when we saw him on the sideline, bro. A lot of us were pissed.
I was one of them. Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, I was wrong. I'm manning up to admit I was wrong about Calvin Ridley when it came to that. So I'm here to say that. My fault, Calvin. But I'm just gonna say this here. It's just a bad look for this organization. And now guys are gonna look like, well, damn, Red was a first round pick and he was a star. What are they gonna do to us if we're hurt, if we're messed up? I might need to go get a second opinion. And truthfully, this is the reason why players don't trust organizations.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Marcus, go ahead.
I mean, well, I was just gonna say, man, you know, in this situation, I mean, this happens in all locker rooms. You know, there are players that, you know, play when they shouldn't be playing at all. You remember years ago, Terrell Owens in the Super Bowl. You know, guys, you know, sometimes they're not gonna miss that opportunity. You know, if they feel like they can help their team, even though they're banged up, that's just what they're gonna do. I mean, look at LeBron James this year. You know, it took a pop for him to finally sit his ass down. You know, but he had been playing through pain and shots and all that. I mean, so this stuff goes on. My thing, you know, for Calvin Ridley, you know, you look at a lot of the injuries that we had. You know, Julio, to me, man, I'm just gonna be honest. Julio came in the league injured. Them hammies are just showing now. The hammies, the foot, you know, the man's good for 1 or 2 catches now. You know, so you look at a lot of these guys now, man. When they get hurt, it's all downhill. Look at Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis sneezes the wrong way, his nose breaks. Like it's almost like, man, you really got to pay attention. Some of these guys are just gingerbread, you know. But man, I wish Calvin Ridley the best, man, because he really, when healthy, this guy is one of the best route runners in the game, hands down.
Not one of the best. Hold up, let me stop you. I don't normally cut you off like that. No. He is the best route runner in the game, and I'm telling you this from, you know, yeah, I'm from Atlanta, but I grew, like I said, I moved. Situation happened. Moved to Jacksonville, Florida. I played high school ball in Florida. I'm gonna tell you like this: any of them all receivers that come out of the state of Florida are polished as route running. That is something that is taken serious, bro. Route running that's like you breathing air. If you can't run routes, you ain't playing in the state of Florida. Speed can only get you but so far. You got to have footwork. And that's why they tell you, look at the receivers that come out of there and look at your DBs that come out of there. That's where that footwork come from. But I'm sorry, Marcus, I just kind of had to throw that in there because, you know.
Well, the reason why I can't call him the best is there's this guy out there in Kansas City by the name of Travis Kelce, who they try to double, triple team. That man's route running. I mean, and he's a tight end. I've seen this man run routes where it's like, bro, how are you so open all the damn time? And you look at his footwork. He knows, man, this guy ran a route. It was a hot route. Patrick Mahomes should have been sacked. I don't know how Kelce got open on that play.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm sorry, but I can't put anybody over Travis Kelce when it comes to route running, and he's a tight end.
What about
We got to
Cooper Cup?
disagree on that one, fam, because
What about Cooper Cup?
I'm gonna say we got to disagree on that one because I got to say Ridley, but outside of Ridley, it's another Miami boy that I would say to me, I feel like is the best route runner that ever did it, and that's Chad Ochocinco. That dude that literally made people tap dance, bro.
Yeah. You know what? Now that you mentioned Cooper Cup, man, geez, that's a hard one, man.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
That's a hard
Cup,
one,
man.
Cup 2 years ago single-handedly won me my fantasy. Single-handedly. So yeah, man. I
remember that.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to walk that back. Cooper Cup, I put Cooper Cup 1, I put Kelce 2. But Ridley is gonna be able to perform, and I'm gonna let Killian talk because y'all know how I get. Ridley's gonna be able to perform in Jacksonville's system. I think I got Ridley at 1,400 yards next year.
Dang.
Easy. I mean, he had 1,300. Look at the yard, dude. He did 1,300 on our team
with Matt Ryan.
Yeah,
with the broken foot. Foot.
Yeah. So I'm 13, and I mean, you're not going to be able to bracket him. You're not, because I mean, they got a good receiver on the other side too. You know, they got a good run game, and then they got Trevor Lawrence, who throws a better ball than Matt Ryan.
Marcus, you forgot something. The Jags have taken 3 solid pieces, and I've been saying this for the longest, and I love sulking in this. I said Foye Oluokun was the best linebacker we had, and everybody laughed at me when I said it. The man led in tackles twice with the Falcons, led with the Falcons twice, also led the NFL 2 times in tackles. This year with the Jags, the year before with the Falcons. So I'm going to be 100 with you on this. That was a guy that we let get away. And outside of him, I'm going to tell you a guy that's going to eat in that system or whatever. He just never could get on the field with us for some obvious reason. It's Kadre Ollison. Kadre Ollison is Jay Ajayi all over again. And Doug Peterson's going to use him in a way that's going to be ridiculous.
Well, somebody need to use him because Quadre just didn't do the job here, fam. He didn't do the job here. And they gave Ollison, I don't know how many attempts at this man. And he just wasn't the guy. So maybe he works out, but here that man didn't work out for us at all.
We got Tank now.
Change the scenery. Tell me what you got.
But you know, everybody pretty much touched on it. I wish the best for Ridley, but I need him to do well. Just like what Marcus was saying, I need him to do real well because I need that to transfer to the pick that turned into a second round.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that it works out for both sides. It works out for Ridley in the long term with his mental health, being back in the state of Florida, and it works out for the Falcons because if we get that second round pick, I believe that'll turn into maybe another receiver that'll be even better than Ridley. So he just is doing the homework, and when we take that pick, making that pick with that, when it turns into a second round, make sure it turns into a superstar type of receiver.
Now, I got to show this or whatever. Marcus, I know this is going to bring back some memories or whatever, but this next topic I'm about to get on, it's about to bring out these old sellout fans or whatever. And I said sellout. We ain't doing no sellout fans in here. No sellout fans allowed. If you ain't riding with us right now, hey, don't ride with us, man. No sellout fans allowed in this group, man. It's ride or die, red and black. Now, here's the other thing that we got going on. Cordell Patterson stays recruit. They talked about Khalil Mack and Eddie Kendricks coming to Atlanta. He's trying to recruit those dudes. He was teammates with both of them. Kendricks was in Minnesota with Patterson. Then you have, last but not least, your man Khalil Mack, who literally won the game for the Chargers this year, and he's now getting ready to leave the Chargers in free agency. Do we make a stab at these two?
Why not?
Because Cordell Patterson obviously is recruiting people that's talented.
Now, the only thing about Khalil Mack, how much that price tag gonna be?
Yeah, it's all about the money. Do those numbers?
Well, they gave the majority of his money in in Los Angeles. So,
I know.
Yeah, so the question is, how much money is he willing to take? Because you got to remember, he's getting older now. He's still producing at a high level now. Don't get it twisted. He's still producing. He, son of a gun beat us earlier this year.
You ain't lying.
No, that's
he stripped Drake London. He stripped Drake London. So I'm just saying, do you make a stab at Kendricks, who has been a Pro Bowl linebacker, who's been a solid fixture in being a middle linebacker for the Minnesota Vikings, and he's been, a consistent figure when it comes to, being a top linebacker and tackles in the league.
I mean, if you can get him, hell yeah, you you take Khalil back. I mean, it's just like I said, how much he gonna be warranted? It's gonna be the question. And then for the other guy, do we try to upgrade in the draft, or we just gonna be like, look, we can bring these two in, these two veteran pieces, and then focus our draft pick elsewhere.
Well, Killian,
like I said, man. We need to go get everybody that can improve the Falcons. You know what I'm saying? Throw the money, not throw all the money, but you have to put yourself out there. So Kendricks, offensive linemen that are out there that can improve this offensive line, linebackers. I mean, whatever there is, you throw that little bit of money out there. Everybody, you have a throw an offer out there. Other teams are going to throw an offer out there. We have to be aggressive. We have to be aggressive and attack our needs. Then what we don't get in free agency, then we go attack in the draft. That's the if it's Kendricks or another linebacker, you go for the best out there though. You go for the Khalil Mack.
Yep. Y'all know why I'm smiling right now. Because I gotta address what my guy Mike is saying. Look, well, I'm gonna tell you this here. I don't want Derrick Henry because he's breaking down. He's already breaking down with all the physicality and them running him into the ground. What running backs have been in Atlanta that have not been running to the ground with their other organizations have succeeded here? Eric Dickerson was washed. Steven Jackson was washed.
Big washed.
In my heart to say it. Todd Gurley was washed.
Big washed.
I'm just saying, and it hurt me because he's a dog. Let's just be real.
He had 10 tugs.
I mean, he had 10 tugs, yeah. But I mean, any running back that we have got that has been run down, literally running to the ground, we can't do nothing with him. King Henry is a dude. This is my thing. King Henry is a dude that's a monster. But when you talk about a guy that got beat on as much as he did and the way that he runs, you don't last long in the league like that. Earl Campbell was the same type of running back. He didn't last but 8 years. And he was breaking down when he was in New Orleans at the end of his career. And literally was breaking down in Houston. That's why they traded him off when they got Warren Moon to come to Houston. So when you look at it, his shelf life is already started. Ankle injury, knee injury, hamstrings. Something that big is not supposed to move that fast. And you can't sit there. It was like Julio. We rolled Julio till the wheels fell off.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna waste money like that. I'm sorry.
I think it should be in the draft, not attacking it in free agency. Free agency should be offensive, defensive line, and linebacker and secondary. That's what we get out of the free agency.
Exactly.
Everything else should be attacked in the draft. That's just my opinion. I mean, right now, as soon as they open up free agency, you attack that offensive, defensive line, secondary, linebacking core, and then everything else you get in the draft, man.
I mean, hypothetically, I don't think we're gonna take a chance at him anyway, because I think Arthur Smith pretty settled with our running back room. I mean, I think we might still get one in the draft or whatever. But if you look at Derrick Henry been their offense. Think he really got in the groove. Think about it. This man on rush for 2,000 yards, I think twice. So just think about that. Think of all the wear and tear.
He came close one time. He did it once. He only ran it once. Okay. He came close one year.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So yeah. So the next thing, since we're talking about players or whatnot, and we're talking about guys breaking down, we don't have players breaking down or whatnot. Caleb McGarry didn't get the franchise tag. Let's talk about it. He's not breaking down, but you're talking about a guy who is a hell of a run blocker. He turned from being a turnstile as one of our viewers would love to, as one of our viewers calls him a turnstile, as many of the offensive linemen. But McGary is a guy, I said this here, McGary is a guy that has improved. I got to give him his credit. But as a pass blocker, dude smell worse than dead buzzard meat on the side of the Arizona highway in the summer.
Damn.
I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. He stank. Not stink, he stank. Run block, he is a menace. But pass blocking, he stank. You got to get somebody who can balance it out. You know what I mean? And when you talk about that, you're not going to sit. We already got a contract that's locked up with Matthews right now. You don't need another offer. You're going to have to pay Chris Lindstrom, because Lindstrom literally stepped up and became the player that we thought Lindstrom could be. McGary is still trying to figure this out. 1 year out of all the years he's been here, he only had one good year, and that was the year before his contract. Go figure. $18 million, I'll pass, homie. Give me Mark Evans III out of University of Arkansas Pine Bluff as a 6th or 7th round pick that you can mold, who grew up in the running game, who's a hell of a pass blocker. Or if you're going to draft high, give me the kid out of Ohio State, not Paris Johnson. I forget the other offensive tackle's name. His name's on the tip of my tongue. 6'8", 364 pounds. Great in pass protection and great at run block. A mold. And my thing is, I'd rather take a young guy where I can pay him less and groom him a little bit better, opposed to having this dude who literally waited to his pay year to get better. Can't do that. NFL stands for not for long, gentlemen.
I mean, true, man. I'm kind of surprised they didn't franchise tag him. I mean, pick up a 50-year option or whatever. But it also let me know that they're about to pay Chris Lindstrom a good extension, because he's been solid ever since we drafted him. He's been that guy on our offensive line. So that just lets me know Lindstrom about to get paid.
Exactly. So, Marcus, how do you feel about them not tagging McGary? Do you feel as if that was a smart move to just go ahead, let this play out, let somebody else pay him that money, because we got a contract tied up in Matthews already, and we need to start bringing in young guys who can do the job a little bit better, that come from passing systems and running systems that were more balanced than where McGary came from?
Yeah, man, I'm just looking at the 18 million tag. I mean, that's enough to scare me the hell off anyway. Like I mean, think about this. This is how I look at things. So I'm gonna put a tag on a guy for 18 mil. That doesn't really super duper impact our team like that. I'll give you another tag. 10 million for Saquon Barkley, who obviously impacts that team. Hell no, I'm not paying this man no $18 million, man. Hey, go test the market, bro.
Yeah.
Go test the market. Let me get. There's always a stud in the draft. There's always somebody waiting in the wings now. 18 million for you to dance with us. Now they can still try to work out a deal before free agency opens wide up. But man, nah, I'm passing on that too. Hey, hey, look, I bet you Terry Fontenot didn't waste a night of sleep saying hell no to that tag. I guarantee you he didn't wake up in the morning making breakfast conflicted between, man, should I really tag Caleb McGary? I guarantee you he didn't. This man sat down and ate his breakfast knowing good and damn well that 18 million ain't going to him. We're gonna negotiate a deal, or you can get the hell on. Period. Yeah. We got new money too. Man, you ain't hog-tying me for no franchise. Man, please. Hell no.
Hey, Marcus, how Phil Mom used to say, it smelled like new money.
Yeah.
It smelled like new money. Now you getting ready to attract. Oh, look, now you getting ready to attract everybody who think they're a billy goat now, so they can eat up the paper.
Hey, let me ask you something. I'm gonna give 18 million to a player. Don't nobody got no McGary jersey out here. When's the last time you saw somebody rocking a Caleb McGary Falcon jersey? Maybe his family.
His family.
Hold up. His mama.
Maybe them. Fam, I don't even think I can find one out here in one of these stores. I'd have to personally go look for that.
Fanatic.
I'm not. Nah,
Marcus, Lindstrom got people wearing his jerseys right now.
That
hey
man is an
man,
all pro.
hey,
Yeah.
you can sit in a room of Falcons fans and talk Falcon football for an hour, and this man's name will not be brought up.
Not in the
Yep.
good way.
Hold on, wait a minute. The only time his name will be brought up is when his ass is holding, as he always has done, or he's missing, or he's giving up a sack. That's the only time you're gonna hit it.
Yeah, man, I got 18 million reasons not to tag him. So moving on from that.
Jason, you awful. So Coach Brandt might join us a little later or whatnot tonight. He's got some things he's doing. He's been here in spirit with us, but he says Coach Brandt has 3 of those jerseys.
Oh hell no!
That's cold blooded.
Damn.
And Sean says his jersey's under the custom menu when ordering. It's ready to order. Hey, what you gonna custom order like you order some flapjacks at the International House of Pancakes off of Moreland Avenue? Come on now.
Wow, Moreland Avenue. My God.
Yes, sir. Got to throw that out there, man. You know, I'm giving free plugs and they ain't even giving us no food. I'm gonna have to change that. So next, while we're sitting there talking about it, so
damn cold.
So as we're getting the laugh on, the topic that we all have been waiting to jump on.
Oh Lord, thank you.
Jump on like flies on the turd right now. The Falcons have thrown in the towel on Lamar Jackson, or should we say Lemire Jackson? Let's just be honest. 2 first round picks, and then you talking about paying a little over $30-something million? Hell no. We just got money. I'm gonna give this analogy because I'm gonna get this out and I'm gonna let y'all have at it. This is just like either I can say the Coast Guard cutter or a Navy ship. When you actually cruise through open ocean and you go through a minefield. We've gone through a minefield for the past 5 years in Atlanta. Let's be honest. We've been holding this thing together with oakum, with wood, with plugs. So for everybody that doesn't know what oakum and wood and different kinds of wrap, those are things that us sailors patch up holes on a ship. So I'm going back to my military days when I say that. But I just say this here. You plugging and patching a huge ass carrier, which is this Falcons fan base organization and everything else. And that is your defensive line. That is your offensive line. And the ship is already sinking. It's sinking right now while we're trying to get into port. We're almost in the home port or whatnot and getting ready to go to dry dock. And we're getting ready to fix and make major repairs on this ship. We're getting ready to do a major overhaul. We already got the engine with Uncle Terry and Arthur Smith. We already got the engine with them. That's your engine right there. Now you have to fix everything that's on this ship. You sitting here trying to bring a goddamn fighter pilot plane on this boat, which is Lamar Jackson. You talking about the money that you got to give up, the 2 first-round draft picks you got to give up for a guy that can't finish a season. Yes, he has a winning record. Yes, he has an MVP. Yes, he has a Heisman Trophy. But dude has not finished a season. He's not finished a full season since he's been in the NFL. So why am I going to sit there and throw brand new money out the window for this? And we got so many other things we need to fix before we bring in a quarterback to try to build. Desmond Ridder cannot be judged off of 4 games. If you judge Desmond Ridder off of 4 games, you was slow as smoke coming off the turd mentally. And yeah, I said it, and I don't give two rats asses about it. You can say what you want in the comments. I love y'all, but I'm gonna keep it real with you or whatever. As the infamous George Clinton said at House Party, my cry 2 tears in the bucket. Fuck it, take it to the stage. So we taking this to the stage right now, and let's just be real. Lamar is an excellent quarterback. I'm not taking nothing away from the brother's talent. But how are we going to be able to protect this man if he comes to Atlanta with the offensive line we have that can't pass protect for Mariota, Matt Ryan, and even Desmond Ridder last year? How can we protect that? And that guy is fragile as gingerbread, as my man Marcus said. Marcus, go for it.
Man, here's the thing. shameless plug. I did a whole video on this thing couple days ago. Y'all go check that out. But anyway, listen, man, there are a lot of teams that immediately got out of the sweepstakes as soon as they put the non-franchise tag on Lamar Jackson. Now, that doesn't come as a surprise, especially when the combine just happened and we know these GMs and these agents talk. I had it figured that, Lamar Jackson, his camp supposedly are not saying that they want the whole contract fully guaranteed. However, I think they want the guaranteed portion of that contract around $200 million.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody willing to do that. Reason being, last year, we saw Deshaun Watson literally in Atlanta. Nobody was paying that 230 plus million in guaranteed money. That's why we let him walk. Hey, listen, go get your money, Playboy. We can't give it to you. That's an outlier contract. Now, do I think Lamar Jackson is worth that money? Well, the market would dictate, yeah, he is. Because Deshaun Watson got this money. Last time we saw him play, oh, man, look at his stats. He threw for almost 5,000 yards. They had the same record we did that year, 4-12. 4-12. Same record. Now, if I can recall, virtually every time Lamar Jackson has played, they've been in the playoffs. So I'm like, yeah, the market, if you're going to pay Deshaun Watson that money, and mind you, Lamar Jackson was the unanimous MVP. Deshaun Watson ain't never got there. He ain't never got there. So the market would dictate, hey, yeah, 200 million guaranteed. I can see it, especially when you're paying Kyler Murray 190 million. The market is dictating that Lamar Jackson make this kind of money. Now, I will say this. Listen, man, I like the plan that we got. We just ran into new money. And one thing that I've always learned in life, when you get new money, you don't spend it all in one place.
Yeah.
So we got other things to shop for. We got to get our defense right. We need to get the trenches right. We need to get another wide receiver. Not only are you talking about paying this man $200 million guaranteed or right around that, but you're giving up 2 number ones. We got an 8th now. We gonna give that up this year? And then, nah, dog, the price is too high. It's too damn high. And I like Lamar Jackson. But here's the flip side. So you get Lamar Jackson. Still got to fix this defense. How you gonna fix the defense?
Yeah.
Well, you got some picks. Well, you gave up 2 first rounders.
Yes, sir.
So I mean, some of these big boss players, they off the board by the time we get there, or we're gonna have to trade up.
Mm-hmm.
Or just hear me out. A team that won 7 games this year that could have easily won 10 with Marcus Mariota, who couldn't throw a fit, and then a rookie and Desmond Ridder. Some of these games we left on the table with our defense looking like straight ass for a lot of these games, and we're still in the majority of these games. How about this, Falcons fans? How about this? Just an idea. Use your goddamn money to build a team. Get a defense. Get another wide receiver. Let's see what Ridder can do this year. If Ridder ain't the guy, guess what? You can go get another quarterback the next year because you still got your first round pick.
Thank you. And Marcus, and I say this here, man. I'll say this. Here's the other thing. When it comes to that, I'll say most people have not given Ridder a chance. You can't judge a guy for 4 games. If you did that, how the hell would we know how good Peyton Manning was? Because Manning was awful his first year.
Terrible.
Think about it. You didn't think about it. The great Peyton Manning we talk about, his brother or whatever, you wouldn't think he'd have won 2 Super Bowls or whatnot. Let's just be real. If New York wouldn't have gave him a shot after Kurt Warner stunk up the joint. I'm just looking at it for what it is. You got to give a guy at least as long as you gave Dan Mariota. Let's just be real on that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real on that. And on top of that, he didn't have Kyle Pitts. He didn't have Kyle Pitts. So when you look at that, he was throwing to Drake London. He was throwing to Olamide Zaccheaus. You know, he was throwing to Demetrius Byrd. You know what I'm saying? He was throwing to guys that really, really are going to probably, I say Olamide Zaccheaus will probably stay. Byrd, that's a toss-up. Because I'm going to be honest with you, it's some young receivers out there right now that's hungry that I would bring in that we've talked about in the mock drafts. Like a number 2 receiver that I'm going to promote until the wheels fall off. My man, Shaq Davis, hands down, out of South Carolina State. The other guy that I'm going to put out there that is a game changer that could be a number 1 or number 2 is Xavier Smith out of Florida A&M. I'm always going to support HBCUs, ladies and gentlemen. Let me make sure I make that clear for y'all. Outside of me talking about UGA players and Tennessee players, and here's the other thing. You got to look at the kid Hyatt if you can get him in the draft. You know what I'm saying? If you can get him, that is a guy that you want to bring in as well. So it's so many guys that you can bring into Atlanta as number 2 receivers to take the pressure off Drake, to take the pressure off of Cordell Patterson. You got guys you can bring in, but the question is, are you going to do so? So now I got to bring in Coach Branch, the resident Tennessee Volunteer, who we're talking about one of his boys that he's been promoting. Like I've been beating the drum for all these guys coming out of HBCU and some UGA players or whatnot. What's happening, Coach?
What's going on?
Can I get him a Garrity jersey?
I ain't got one of them. I don't waste money.
Hey, but to piggyback what Marcus said, a couple of things. Lamar Jackson, first of all, if we would have got him for the right price, Q, I'm like what Q said yesterday. But Lamar Jackson wanted more money than Deshaun Watson, which he rightly deserved. He wanted a minimum of $230 to $250 million. Hell no. Secondly, I think Lamar Jackson sort of mixed up by having his mom represent him instead of getting a proper agent to deal with this. Number 2, because the Ravens organization, I'm like, okay, you're gonna bring your mom in here. Let me go ahead and show you how we do this. Non-franchise tag, boom. Now what? So now they're gonna be like, look, what you gonna do? Are you gonna do what Deshaun Watson did? The reason why he got his money, he got out and got traded. Are you willing to fit out a year?
Deshaun Watson got his money because Jimmy Haslam's an idiot.
Yeah, that too.
And he was tired of Baker Mayfield. Let's be real on it.
Yeah,
it wasn't the fact that it was a good Samaritan act of, oh yeah, we're gonna give him a second chance. Nah, Deshaun Watson fell in the right place at the right time. Because I can tell you right now, Cleveland would have gave up everything to get damn Lamar Jackson because they probably would have been tired of competing against him. And you bring him in with what they got at Cleveland, okay, you got something.
Yeah, he put a place at the right time. Like I said, we created the market because we were looking at him, other teams were looking at him, and Cleveland set the market. Now the Jackson situation is a little bit different. I mean, he deserves and can clamor that type of money because of the accolades he has. But in Atlanta's situation, we're in a situation where we haven't had any money. You think we want to go back down that road, give up assets and money to just get a quarterback, and we still need the rest of the team? That's just unfeasible for us. It don't matter what he's asking for. I don't care how good he plays. We're trying to build a team, a great foundation, and we're not just trying to start with the quarterback. We can always add to the quarterback room through free agency, but we can go to like maybe just another veteran, and also bring a quarterback in through draft.
Well, look at it from this perspective. If let's just say Atlanta just absolutely had a seizure and decided to give Lamar Jackson what Deshaun Watson is making, you would effectively be paying Lamar Jackson almost $100 million more than you would have paid Matt Ryan. Yep. Those numbers just don't make sense to me. I'm sorry. I like Lamar Jackson, and the market for sure is going to drop because I do believe that these GMs are colluding. There's no doubt in my mind. They got in the combine and said, ain't no way in hell we gonna get this man $200 million. So the minute you non-franchise tag Fontenot, you gonna come out, you gonna say you think about it. All these teams that came out and said they weren't interested in Lamar Jackson all need damn quarterbacks.
That's an understatement.
And they like, nah, you know what? It's all good, Playboy. We out, man. Hey, we riding with Ritter. Now, I guarantee you, if that number was a lot lower than 200 million, let's just say Daniel Jones's contract, 150. Man, we would have kicked. We would have kicked Desmond Ritter out the building for Lamar Jackson. Hey, Arthur Smith would have told him flat out, "Hey, Ritter, you're on the bench for the next 4 years." He would have been in the Jordan Love situation.
Thing, bro. He told him, "Hey, man, you might want to go find another home."
Hey, they're trying to get the market back under control. The NFLPA actually wants Lamar Jackson to get this guaranteed money because they want guaranteed contracts in the NFL. I think it's absolutely crazy that the most physical game in the sport or in sports period doesn't have fully guaranteed contracts. NBA does. How many times we seen these baseball players get these ridiculous contracts? $320 million for 10 years for one player? Don't nobody watch baseball like that. 300 million. I'm like, where the hell are they finding the money? Ain't nobody watching baseball like that, bro. But you see these ridiculous contracts, and it'd be fully guaranteed. $300 million. You know, football, again, franchise tag Saquon Barkley, $10 million. Man, you know Saquon ain't, he ain't right. You know he ain't right now. So y'all gave Daniel Jones
sick in his stomach right now with his money. They literally besmirched him. I'm not gonna say shit. They besmirched him with that contract. That was so disrespectful.
I won y'all that playoff game. Not him, me. I won that game for y'all.
And you do him like that? Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I'm Saquon Barkley, after this year goes by, I'm sliding elsewhere. Let's be real. I'm gonna find another house. Could you imagine if he say, "Look, Cordell, I'll come to Atlanta. I don't mind sharing carries. You'll take some of the strain off of me that New York's been putting on me." Could you imagine if he decides to come to Atlanta because he sees how we run the ball? That would be a problem. The three-headed monster. I'm just gonna be real with you on that.
It gets just me or the giant Garrett up there of what the Cowboys are dealing with Ezekiel Elliott. Once he got his money, he just turned to shit.
I think what happened is they finally got a competent coach up there, that Dayball, that could do something with Daniel Jones. And if you go back and look at Daniel Jones' stats, his completion percentage went up by like 5 points this year, and his quarterback rating went up by like 7 points. It's his highest of his career. And people are starving for quarterbacks in the NFL. And anytime that you think that you might have somebody that can do it, they're going to side with the quarterback over the running back all day long. Look at Tennessee. Is Ryan Tannehill that guy? No. But they're going to side with him over Derrick Henry just because he's considered a quote unquote franchise quarterback. That's that's their mentality now. People are starving to get that guy. And that is it true? No, it's sad, but that's the reality you live in.
You're right. I'm sorry to laugh. I wasn't laughing at you, Coach. I was laughing at just what you said. Like, they really consider that guy? Ugh.
They paid him.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep this with the quarterback for a minute. Now, when we talk about Lamar, since the Falcons have given up the draws or whatever and said, you know what, hey, we ain't going to give up the draws to you. We ain't finna give up the cut, the booty, the trim, and all this. You ain't finna sit there and stick one long one up in us. No, sir. We'll just go ahead and pass. We just got off of being in the situation where we had old slugfoot Matt Ryan's contract, and then we had Julio's contract, and then we had that mistake of a midget in the running back, Devontae Freeman's contract. Yeah, I said, all y'all Florida State fans can kick rocks. Y'all need to teach y'all running backs how to block. The only good running back y'all done had to come up out of it is actually two, Antoine Smith and Warwick Dunn. Other than that, y'all kick rocks with them damn backs at FSU. But I'm just joking, man. Much love to FSU. I ain't got no hate towards them. I'm messing with some of my boys because they own tonight or whatnot. They FSU fans. So. But do you bring in a veteran quarterback, or do you go ahead and get a rookie to push Ritter from the draft? Which direction do you go?
What do you gain by bringing in a veteran quarterback? Unless he's going to take the job, what are you gaining?
What do you think? Because
you ain't gaining a damn thing.
Okay, so what do you think a rookie's going to do? If you bring in say you bring in a first round draft pick, because you already know that it talks about it.
But what I'm getting at is, all right, let's talk about the veteran, the first part of it. Who out there are you going to take right now that you're going to pay more money for and put him in front of him? Name one.
I got two, Jimmy G and Jacoby Brissett.
Jimmy G's not finished the damn season since he's been in the league.
True, but at the same time,
and he's going to cost a hell of a lot of money.
Wait a minute. You can't say that he finished the Super Bowl season. Just saying he did. So you said it's been a while. You're right. It's been a while since he's finished, but at the same time, Frisco has fronted majority of his money already.
If he's so damn good, how come they still shopping him around?
And they still kept him on the roster as soon as Trey Lance got hurt, and they didn't put Purdy up in there.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
there were a few things. I'm a side with Coach on this. I'm really wary of a veteran quarterback because y'all know these guys come here, and I always say it. I've been saying this for years. They kidnap checks. Look at Matt Schaub. Matt Schaub literally
Hall of Famer of kidnappers and checks.
Matt Schaub was going to the pay office on the 1st and the 15th with his head down. He didn't deserve them checks.
Bring it on in.
Man, Matt was hanging out with them boys from Decatur. That's how he know how to steal them checks.
Hey, man. and I mean, just look at our history of backup QBs. Josh Rosen, what happened?
Oh, God.
You know, I mean, I can go on. That boy from Tampa Bay, who he was so bad, we brought him in twice. Sims. He was so bad, we brought him in twice, bro.
Chris Sims.
Why? For the life of me, I don't know who's in charge of bringing in guys. They should have been fired when Sims was in a Falcons jersey the second time. Like, bro, I mean, come on now. So I'm with them. I'm tired of these veterans. Yeah. They come in. They don't. If Desmond Ridder gets hurt, I want a guy behind him that we could potentially win with. You look at what San Francisco did. They got Trey Lance, and then they drafted Brock Purdy. Trey Lance gets hurt. Garoppolo comes in. Garoppolo gets hurt. Brock Purdy comes in, goes undefeated until his elbow goes out. Now, last time I checked, Brock Purdy wasn't no veteran. Yeah. So bring in another guy.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. Brock Purdy is a guy. I said this at Marcus. Most like you really don't follow college football like that. So you've even admitted that. Brock Purdy was a dude that had over 12,000 yards, over 88 touchdowns, and had less than 50 picks in his career. Really 30-something picks in his career. And when you talk about it, him, Breece Hall, that's up at the New York Jets that just got hurt, unfortunately, this year, who was going to probably be the rookie of the year because the way he was balling. And you look at them carrying Iowa State in the Big Ten. Brock Purdy was that dude. A lot of people say, oh, well, he got drafted late. No, Brock Purdy was nice. You put him at UGA, you put him in that Tennessee offense, you put him in that Ohio State offense. Brock Purdy probably contends for a national championship. That is how talented the kid was.
But
he was just
seen
as trash because of where he came out of school, bro. Brock Purdy was that deal.
But that's my point. I would rather go that route than get one of these veterans that has been passed around like a blunt in the NFL.
Yeah, I'd rather go get some veterans.
You know, I mean, think about what's out there on the market in free agency. When the free agency opens, and you look at some of these veteran quarterbacks, man, I ain't even looking their direction, man. I ain't even looking their direction. A lot of these guys ain't done nothing. They ain't gonna have a Geno Smith moment.
So
a lot of these guys are ass. Let's just be honest.
So
Jimmy G is one injury away from becoming a model. He's one injury away from just walking away from the game and saying, you know what, man,
Maybe
I'm
him
just
and
gonna
Will
start
Levis
hitting the
can get
runway.
an underwear gig, modeling
Yeah.
underwear or something.
Hey, Marcus, I'm gonna give you this here. Now I say this.
Porn star Jimmy. Y'all know why I call him that.
Shut
That
up.
man
Shut
don't
up,
need
Marcus.
football. That man don't need football. I'm telling
Marcus,
you.
but Marcus, let's be real though, bro. Let's be real though, man. When you talk about it, all right. So we got young rookies coming in. I'm gonna tell you a guy who I would give a chance to. Now, Killian and everybody want to say Stetson Bennett. Yeah, I'm a dog fan. If they get him, cool. Stetson going to Baltimore with Monken. I can tell you that now. He going to Baltimore. Ain't no way in hell Atlanta taking him. It'd be nice, but he going to Baltimore. If you gonna take a guy, go get Max Duggan. Proven winner, has played with a chip on his shoulder, has had to sit behind a quarterback who literally took his job, fought back from pretty much from a heart issue, and literally led his squad to the national championship game. Tough kid. Mentally tough, physically tough. You bring that into Atlanta, and he's a grinder. He ain't no pretty boy. He get the job done. And you talking about somebody that's gutsy, I'll take a gutsy quarterback all day. Now, I love me some Ritter, but if you bring a guy like that in, that's going to make guys step up their game. When you got a quarterback that's willing to sacrifice himself, you know how that's going to go in that locker room.
I mean, I was on the fence with trying to get a veteran, but once I heard Coach put in that perspective, I do agree because I remember during our 2015 season when we got the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man for $1 million. He only played one game. I'm like, he couldn't even fit in the jersey. I'm like, what the hell is this? So yeah, I do agree that drafting the quarterback, we should try that route or whatever, because I think Ritter is comfortable in the system, even though for 4 games he's starting to build a better rapport with freaking Drake London. That's like his go-to guy, and then you add in freaking Kyle Pitts or whatever, man. Hey man, we can be rocking and rolling, man. We just need to add another wide receiver and whatnot. But yeah, I do agree with Coach, man. I think drafting one would probably be better.
Plus, let's look at another thing, fam. Matt Ryan. Listen, I hate to slam on Matt Ryan. I mean, he's gonna be behind the desk next year. Y'all know Matt Ryan gonna be behind the desk next year come Sunday, right? Y'all know it. Suit and tie Ryan.
I'm trying to keep a straight face, but I'm trying not to laugh so hard because I already know you're going with this, bro.
This man is either gonna be on CBS or ESPN somewhere next year. I'm telling you. But
I think he's gonna be sitting in the booth with West. I think they're gonna get rid of Dave Archer's ass, and they're gonna put him in the booth with West Durham calling Falcon games, bro. I can see it now. If he's not with CBS,
let's be honest. We didn't put anybody behind Matt Ryan to compete for that quarterback job. Nobody.
Yeah. And those
even the Patriots. The Patriots were drafting quarterbacks. Y'all remember when there was friction between Tom Brady and Bill Belichick because Bill Belichick didn't want to let Garoppolo go.
Nope.
Yeah.
We talking about the GOAT here. And they still went and got somebody. Who did we get in Matt Ryan's 14 seasons? Who did
nobody.
Where we can actually be like,
we had Kurt Ben Kurt.
Bro,
hell, he was throwing passes at the combine last week.
Hold up, I got one for. Wait a minute. Now I gotta address this right here. Now I know she's trying to be funny. I already see this here. Ain't no way in hell we take Anthony Richardson. I don't give a damn if he is a. Wait, let me get this here. I'm about to jump on this here because she about to get me started.
Will Levis all day long.
I don't want neither one of them. They both cheeks, as my dog Marcus would say. Marcus, just say it. They cheeks.
Yeah, they cheeks, man. Listen,
neither one of them jokers could win when it counted. I don't give a damn about potential. Let's be real. Everyone's like, oh, well, Stetson was covered with this. Okay, Stetson went to a junior college and led a team that wasn't even as talented to a playoff. Let's be real. You want to get
national title.
Stetson Bennett beat all these quarterbacks that are literally top draft picks. Beat him like he was their daddy. Let's just be real. Herndon Hooker was on the chopping block too, and I like him too.
Check,
Sorry, Coach.
You got your head.
Hold on. Stetson had a list where he chopped off everybody. I'm gonna tell you this here. Anthony Richardson has talent. If he gets with the right system, if he gets with the right system, they can possibly bring that out. But when you got a guy that has bad decision making, who really does not know how to read defenses, and he's not groomed, you're gonna waste money. Let's be real on that. And I'm gonna say this here: his best games came against teams that were sorry as hell. Let's be real on that. Go back and look at the film. None of his tape is impressive. None of his tape is impressive. So
Utah.
I'm just saying, hell, I'll take Cam Rising out of Utah before I take Anthony Richardson. And Rising or whatever is going back to his senior year. So all I'm saying is let's be real on that, dog. Everybody getting so hyped over a guy that look good in shorts and t-shirts. When you play against elite talent, you don't shine. Y'all can say I'm hating. Y'all can say this here, but film don't lie. True. And he played in the NCC. How the hell do you lose to Vanderbilt and you got plenty talent?
Hey man,
how the hell do you lose to Vanderbilt?
Everybody looks good in shorts, man. Y'all remember a couple years ago, Mike Davis. Mike Davis was goddamn trending. They were like, man, look. They were like, man, look at the calves on this motherfucker, man. Look at the calves on this motherfucker. And what did Mike Davis do? Went out there and just straight butt cheeks. Man, he was so bad that year. The man apologized when the season was over with. I'm sorry, I let y'all down. With them calves, you let us down with them calves. Everybody looked good in shorts. The combine ain't nothing but a track meet now anyway.
Yep.
You know, come holler at me in the preseason where you're playing against a team that is equally trying to beat you and they're auditioning themselves. That's when I see the talent. I don't care what you run. You ain't running that on the field.
That's straight line speed. If you make a cut, that's one thing. And if you got an alley to hit and you hit that alley, that's cool. But think about it. You got safeties that run doggone 4.3s and 4.2s and 4.4s just like you. So everybody's like, oh, well, he's 240 pounds. He's running this. Okay, it looked good when you're doing it against JV teams. You didn't do it against Georgia. You didn't do it against Alabama. You know, you didn't do it against LSU. You didn't do it against Arkansas. You didn't do it against Vandy. So what the hell make you think you're going to do it in the National Football League? If I got to take a quarterback out of the SEC, I'm taking, if outside of Stetson Bennett and Bryce Young, I got to take Herndon Hooker. I'm sorry. Point blank, period. And then I give you a kid that's going to be on the up and coming, and he's going to be a serious problem when he come up for his draft. He's an LSU quarterback that is a second-string quarterback. Yep. Mettenberg. That was the kid who came in the second half for of the SEC championship game and lit Georgia's ass up for over 200 yards and had 3 touchdowns thrown. So when you look at that, that is a dude that played with horrible talent and shined against the nation's best football team and put up damn near 30 points on them. Let's be real on that. Yeah. And you got Anthony Richardson, who literally had a better team at Florida than LSU. Just gonna be real, when you look at it on paper, they had better players, and he couldn't do nothing with it.
Lost to Vandy.
So all I'm saying is this, man.
Vandy was all right this year.
Shit. Vandy got a lot of Atlanta boys on that squad. A lot of Atlanta boys, a lot of Memphis boys, Chattanooga, and Florida boys on that squad.
They were a pretty improved Vanderbilt team this year.
They coach really think they gonna compete this year.
Yeah, they talking. Yeah, that's what we hung 55 on them, right?
So let's get to the next topic or whatnot we got. Let's talk about these wide receivers. Who are we gonna bring in to become target number 2, and also a slot receiver? Let's get to it, Coach.
Well, it depends on if you're gonna go free agency or if you're wanting to go draft.
Yeah,
I think you get way more bang for your buck going draft, in my opinion, than you do than you go free agency, because they're going to command that high price tag. I think your simple solution is to put the kid that was hurt last year in the slot and let CP have a hybrid role this year. Use those two guys and then draft somebody and bring them along.
You're speaking on Bernhardt. You're speaking on Bernhardt, the kid that came out of Fair State that was a quarterback.
Yes,
I like him. I'm gonna be real. I like him, but for some reason, it's a kid that's coming out of Cincinnati this year that is Desmond Ritter's former teammate, who I would take in the slot. Good receiver, good speed, good hands, and tough. Not Toughgh, Toughh. No, Tuff, tough and fast. Now, Bernhardt is a guy that I really would like to see, but if he can't get above the practice squad, you got to get somebody like him. You got to.
I think he was hurt last year. Most of the years, what
he
kept
was.
him on.
It was a groin injury.
Yeah,
we need to attack in both areas. We need to grab somebody out of the draft and go get a free agent also to add to that wide receiver room.
I mean, yeah. Wide receivers are endless in the draft. I mean, you can get them from the first round to the 7th. It doesn't matter. There's all kinds of talent.
Yeah,
I would focus more on the draft than free agency because I look at the free agent and wide receivers we tried to bring in. They ain't paying out worth a damn. So, I mean, I look at the wide receivers that we draft and we got way more production than they did, and didn't even have to spend that much. So, I lean more toward in the draft than like you said, Shaq Davis. I looked at his highlight; he looked fantastic. I like him. There's another the kid from Cincinnati. I'll try to do some homework on him tomorrow or whatever. But I will lean more focus on the draft than I do a free agent. If somebody is
I feel like
willing to come on a 1 or 2 year deal, cool, got it. But I will lean more towards the draft.
So the
My
kid
boy Cedric Tillman's out there too now. You talking about somebody that fit our mold?
That's what I'm trying to get.
But here's the thing: the kid out of Cincinnati that you're talking about, that's Trey Tucker, 5'9", 190 pounds. Slot. He can play the X, Y, and the Z. He can play all three. You use a guy like that with route running, speed, hands, and toughness, who I was just speaking on and whatnot, who has a familiarity with Desmond Ritter. So when you look at that, you're bringing him a guy that Desmond knows how to throw to him, and you're talking about coach played wide receiver. I'm a DB. The one thing I'm a former DB, just like coach is a former receiver. The one thing you learn when you play the game and you play the position, you understand that when they say a quarterback and a receiver they have to be on the same page where it's just reaction. It takes time for that to happen. You put those two together, they don't have to form a rhythm. Desmond can just tell him, hey, run these routes while he's learning the playbook. Tell him which routes to run and literally get the kid the ball and just let him use his athletic ability. You're taking a lot of pressure off of CP. You're taking a lot of pressure off of Drake London, and you're taking pressure off of Pitts because you have something like that inside, and then you get, like you're saying, a Jalen Hyatt, or you draft an Xavier Smith, or you get a Jaden Hazelwood out of Arkansas, or a Kyrus Jackson. I'm just saying.
I like Kyrus Jackson.
Beach County tough.
I knew you was gonna say that with Kelly.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at all the wide receivers that we tried to bring in. Man, I mean, we had like the tallest wide receiver core in the league, and we didn't do a goddamn thing with them.
Well, we really didn't have nobody that could throw to them neither.
Touche. But I'm just saying, touche. But I'm just saying, man, if we're gonna spend money on free agency, we have to utilize them, man. Otherwise, it could just be a waste of money.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, man, I'm looking at some of these free agents coming into 2023. No. No. Like you draft them. You draft them. Well, two reasons why you're drafting a guy. One, you got him for 4 years, or 3 years. I mean, you don't even got to worry about the contract whatsoever. So that's number one. Number two, you can coach them up. A lot of these wide receivers, man, they get in 3, 4, 5 years deep. You can't really tell them nothing. You can't tell them nothing. You draft a guy, you get him acclimated to the system. So you get him playing the way that you want him to play. I mean, Robert Woods, Robbie Anderson, what can I do with this, man? I can't do nothing with this. I can't do it. Sterling Shepard, he stays hurt more than he plays. That man, he tore his ACL walking. Bro, this guy's got worse.
What?
The two big names that you saw move last year at receiver were both trades in Tyreek Hill and in AJ Brown. You didn't see him going free agency. Nobody's spending that kind of money on him. Yeah. Now, the AJ Brown almost worked out, but it wasn't because of him. Let's be honest. That defense and that offensive line is what did it. But are they going to pay the guy when his contract comes up?
They already paid him.
No, but I'm saying, are they going to keep extending them? Is what I'm saying.
Probably not.
That's what I'm saying. You know, and Tyreek Hill, he's not going to have the way Tua's getting hurt. He's not going to have anybody to get him the ball. Hell, Tua would have to take a crow hop to throw it to him, anyways.
Hey, I got one for you. Hey, Coach, I got one for you. This might make you a little happy. If another receiver that I feel like the Falcons need to definitely look at is Cedric Tillman. That is a guy they better
that's
look
what
at.
I was saying earlier. I think he's a solid number 2. He's 6'4", 215. He's a Michael Irvin body is what he is. I didn't say he's Michael Irvin, but that's
no.
His
You just said his body was there, and you're absolutely right about that. Good hands, strong, good body placement, and really does a great job with catching the football and just being able to make something happen out of nothing.
Well, I'll tell you right now, if the guy from Akron doesn't take a cheap shot on him this year, you never hear Jalen Hyatt's name.
I agree.
He got hurt.
I agree with you on that.
And the kid took a cheap shot on him, and put him out. And then he had to wind up having the tightrope surgery, because he was our leading receiver the year before.
Now, Coach, I'm gonna mention something that me and you have talked about off camera, and we've been in sync. Now, I know that we're talking about receivers right now, but there's a guy who I feel like that should be able to help our defense. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And I know we're talking that, but this is a guy we could probably get in the 6th, 7th round, even in the undrafted free agent. Guy by the name of Jai Nunn Liddell, corner / safety. I put a bug in Coach's ear about this kid, and Coach, we've been fussing about a safety. Now we're talking about the wide receiver, but I gotta talk about I'm a defensive back, so we're not gonna get out this show without talking about my side of the ball. I can't do it. I'll say this. When you talk about Richie Grant has been a disappointment at that free
failed geometry.
Jalen Hawkins is coming to his own. Jalen Hawkins is coming to his own. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Jalen Liddell, he's from Atlanta, by the way, Atlanta kid, went to Kentucky State University, another HBCU, played at the Senior Bowl. He plays corner and he plays safety. If you don't draft him as a corner, you can have him as a safety because of his range. He is 6'4", 195, 200 pounds, can run from sideline to sideline and hit like a ton of bricks. Coach, how do you feel? I was getting ready to ask you, what is it that you like about this kid and no one knows about him or whatnot unless you really follow college football? But this is something I wanted you to put out here from a coach's perspective. What do you want? What do you like with this kid right here if we were to take him?
Hips. He's fluid. He moves. He can get downhill. He can run the alley. He can get off the hash. He can pin his hip. He can speed turn. He can play it, and he's not afraid to come up and put his nose right in your chest. So I mean, he checks all the boxes.
And the thing is, he's an unknown guy.
Yeah, I mean, you see guys, and listen, I know we throw off on guys, but when you have a period of time and you're not doing the job, it's time to move on and get somebody else to do it. I mean, Richie Grant's not getting it done. He cannot take the right angle. He can't do it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sorry. I hate that. I mean, I liked, when we drafted him, I was excited. You see the highlights and stuff, but it's not panned out.
And think about it. The guy that he kept on the bench is Marquise Bell, who I literally was raving about last year. Marquise Bell went to the Dallas Cowboys as an undrafted free agent, literally went from being undrafted, being at the bottom of the depth chart, to fighting for second and third string right now, and then got reps as a starter when a guy was hurt. So when you talk about it, that was a guy that was a headhunter, good pass coverage. He had to go elsewhere to be seen because, Richie Grant was that dude at UCF at that time. But I said I thought Marquise Bell was better than Richie Grant, and I was saying it. Glenn, Killian, you guys can vouch for me when I was preaching about that.
Yeah.
And Dan Quinn got him. And if you look at that playoff game with San Francisco, he made 2 key plays in that playoff game where he caused a fumble on a punt return and also stopped a hell of a return, that was going to happen before it even broke. So he had 2 major plays that changed the game and kept Dallas in it before San Francisco ran away with it. So when you look at talent and you look at guys, don't look at the name of the school that's coming across the chest, ladies and gentlemen. You got to look at the talent. But you have people that don't watch college ball, so I understand that they're not going to know, and they're going to say, oh, well, he's not coming out of this school. It's a lot of things that come into play when you talk about kids that are coming out of schools. Grades, financial situations, or some just get overlooked. But I'll say this. We got to get better in our talent department. And me and Marcus talked about this off the record the other day, and I want Marcus to chime in on this once I lay this up for him so he can just go ahead and come down with it. I'm going to lay it up like Trey Young, and you come down with it like John Collins real quick. We've got to get better. We've got to get better in the front office when it comes to the scouting department. And that means not being lazy-ass scouts. You've got to go out to some of these schools because everybody don't have film on YouTube. Everybody's not going to do that. You still got to get off your ass and do your job, your job, and go scout some of these kids and see it with the naked eye. The eye never lies. What you got, Marcus?
I'll say this. There's a movie. I don't know if y'all have seen it. It's a Clint Eastwood movie called Trouble with the Curve.
What I said last week.
That's a great movie, man. That is a great movie.
And in the movie, they have this top prospect. This guy, is just a hotshot prospect. They think that, he's gonna be all world, but he has an issue with the ball. I think he had an issue hitting a certain ball, curveball, right? And the scout actually found the dude. I forgot where he found it. It's been a minute. I forgot where he found the guy, but the guy was the goods. I like where our front office is right now. One of the reasons why I like it is because they're sticking to the game plan. They knew when they came. Terry and Arthur knew when they got this gig, they were going to be in the dumps for 2 years. They didn't have money to shop. They had to make do with what they had. And what came out of it was 2 7-win seasons, which, to be honest, the last year was more impressive than the first year. Because the first year, if you're paying a quarterback $150 million, you expect to win 7 games or more. So you had a guy that was coming off the bench from another team, and then you had a rookie. You still ended up winning 7 games. You look at some of the what I call home runs from the draft. You look at Drake London. You look at Kyle Pitts. I know people are still in their feelings about Kyle Pitts, but again, you get the right person to throw him the ball. This guy is going to be Hall of Fame. He's going to be Hall of Fame. You get another wide receiver, which I think they're going to do. Here's what I would do. We talked about Khalil Mack and Kendricks from Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually be looking at Kendricks a little more than Khalil Mack. One of the reasons being is the 7 of the 8 years he's been in the NFL, he's led that team in tackles.
Mm-hmm.
Now if you can get both of them, grab both of them. I mean, just get stingy. You're not spending it on Lamar Jackson. Go wild. If you can get Khalil Mack, go get him. If you can get Kendricks, go get him. So you got those things sold up. And one thing I know about Kendricks from watching him play, he's going to tackle. That's the one thing he's going to do. We know what Khalil Mack, has done in the past. We know what he's done.
Yeah.
So at least you would curb Grady Jarrett's frustration if you went and got one of them or both of them. Now Grady can't really say, hey, listen, I'm tired of this shit. Because now you're saying, hey, listen, we got help for you now. And you got a defensive coordinator who's aggressive. He goes towards the ball, not away from the ball. Another thing is you look at some of these guys, we might have had hidden gems. Some of these guys just need to play. If Damian Williams doesn't get hurt, we never see Huntley. We probably, quite honestly, we
did see Huntley in the preseason, Marcus, because you and I talked about. Remember when he stepped on the scene, because you was cooking and you had me on there, and I said Caleb Huntley is a dude. If they give him a chance, I said he gonna be a baller. I said if he ever get a chance.
But look at what they did. They cut him, and then they put him on the practice squad when this boy should have been on the roster. Look at Algier. You look at Algier. If Damian Williams doesn't go out, Algier's probably not getting the touches. So a lot of this is just getting these guys on the field to see what you got.
You're gonna see a big step up with Grady this year too, by him not playing out of position.
Yeah,
I mean, just by playing a multiple front instead of being a hard odd front. Grady's not a two-gap player. He needs to be playing in an even front. And I mean, when we went to the Super Bowl, guess what we were running? An even front. So he showed out.
I've been saying this for the longest. I don't think it was the players. I just think it was the scheme that Dean Pease ran. I think Dean Pease's defense is absolute ass. His scheme is ass. We've seen this.
Well, no, it's not if you have the players for it.
Because he didn't have the personnel to run it, bro. I can't agree with you on that.
Well,
we didn't have. Think about it. Grady is not a
two-way technique, bro. You're automatically a great.
Yeah.
You get a two-gap player right off the bat. Both of them are taken care of.
The guys that fit that system. Holy Nada, who he had in Baltimore, you get a Vita Vea type guy or a Fletcher Cox type guy. Hell, even a young Jordan Davis. Those are the type guys that fit that scheme that Dean Pease runs. You have to have somebody that he pretty much can eat about four plates of biscuits or whatever without the syrup. Put straight molasses on it. Where he just put his belly in front and just hold up two gaps and let those linebackers run free. That is the type of defense that that he runs with that 3-4. But you have to have guys that can run in a 3-4. You got to be in shape to run with a 3-4. Because if you're not, you see what happened is we were competitive, but that Cincinnati game showed you what happens when you get a track team on the field against that 3-4. You get them cheeks clapped.
Yeah. But Grady will benefit tremendously by going back to an even front. And I mean, there's ways that you can still play both and be multiple in doing it by shading and whatnot. But by not being a true odd front by trade, it's going to help him tremendously.
So I got something for you, and because we were just talking about this, because I mentioned the front office, the Falcons, and once we get done with this one, we got one more topic, and then we'll wrap up for the night. So what we got now is the Falcons' last 5 years of fourth-round picks and later picks have been gems. And I got some examples for you before you guys touch on that. If you look at it, most of the home runs have been hit in these later rounds. You look at it. We had, and I actually have them in order, so bear with me. You got Olamide Zaccheaus, who was an undrafted free agent. You had Foye Oluokun, who was taken later in the rounds. You have Avery Williams, who was taken in the 4th round. You have, it's so many, and I'm just giving you those 3. Those are just 3. Then you got Tyler Algier, who we just got last year in the 5th round. He wasn't a 4th round pick. He was a 5th round pick.
Great round pick.
No, I'm just speaking on the last 5 years. Brady's been in the league for a minute. I'm speaking on the last 5 years, Glenn. So when you look at this, they've hit home runs from the 4th round on down. And lastly, Jalen Hawkins. You get him in the 4th round, and Jalen Hawkins turns into a bit of an Ed Reed type of player. Let's just be real on that. And I'm just saying, from the recruiting or from the scouting aspect, I give them credit because they found guys that weren't going to be top guys, but guys that could play, and they're flourishing in the system. I hated to see Foye Oluokun leave. Hated to see it because dude was, like I said, he was like how Eddie Kendricks was. He was our Eddie Kendricks.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, all these guys have been in a situation where they got their opportunity, they shine, and they got spots, and now they're flourishing. What do you think it's going to take for the Falcons now in the 4th round on down to hit home run balls with this one. What do you think?
Well, I'll go first on this. I really think that they're going to be defense heavy in the draft, because that's the main focal point. Offensively, your run game, you went from damn near dead last the prior year to third or fourth this year. They're going to add another wide receiver. I don't know if they're to me it needs to be in the draft because ain't nobody popping off the screen in free agency. That's probably all they're going to touch as far as offensively outside of the line. And the rest of it is going to be defense. Listen, man, let's just be honest. What killed us last year was the defense couldn't get off the field on third down. I mean, even with the quarterbacks that we had, we could not get off the field to save our lives in third down. We were one of the worst teams as far as sacks go because we couldn't get to the quarterback. They're going to address that. They're going to address that. That's why they went and got that boy from New Orleans. They're going to address that. And I think they're going to move heaven and earth in the draft to get slam dunk defensive players. One of the reasons that benefits you, rookie contracts. We just got this money. So I don't see us being salary cap strapped for the next 4 years at all. Unless you have a situation where we play good this year, we might be a quarterback away from winning the chip. They might go. If that were the case this upcoming year, I can see them splurging for one of these quarterbacks that, either wants out of their team or whatever the case may be. Outside of that, to me, they're going defense. When I said they were going wide receiver last year, people looked at me like I was stupid.
Nah, you said it because of Julio.
The year before, when I said they were going to get Kyle Pitts at 4, man, you're out of your damn mind.
Yeah,
fam, they're going.
We better get a right tackle.
You said it was going to be Kyle Pitts. I said they were going to get Michael Parsons. Remember?
Yeah, but I mean, when you
and they passed on Michael Parsons and went to Pitts, and you pretty much see what Michael Parsons has been doing in the league because he's been in the wrecking shit.
Parsons has turned out to be a stud in some games.
I'm gonna say this here. Everybody try to compare him to LT. LT is in a class of his own.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give you another guy who I would say Parsons he reminds me of, but I'm not gonna say he's there. LT and Derek Thomas are two of the greatest pass rushers to ever do.
Oh, that's bold.
They're the two of the greatest pass rushers to ever do it. I'm never gonna put anybody in that class. Parsons got a lot to do to even carry their jock straps.
LT changed the game. LT changed the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
LT is the reason why we got to get a left tackle in here after Matthews is gone. He's the reason why left tackles make the money that they make. He's the reason why Matthews got that type money he got right now.
Yeah, Parsons is good. He had some growing pains this year because for about 3 or 4 games consecutive, he just went MIA. And the greats don't go MIA. And listen, this is no knock on Micah Parsons. I think Micah Parsons is going to be a great player. But there were 3 or 4 games back to back where Micah Parsons didn't do anything. And Dallas has a pretty loaded defense, so when I said Kyle Pitts was going to go 4, it was just based on what I saw. At the time, that's what was better suited for us. Because let's be honest, excitement sells tickets. You look out there in the Kansas City area. What's selling tickets there? It damn sure isn't their defense.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Offense sells tickets, but if you ain't winning the damn thing or whatever, it means nothing because winning cures all. You can throw as many passes as you want, homie. And I'm going to say this here because I played on defense, and I'm going to continue to say it. Defense wins championships. Offense takes you there. If your defense can't win ball games and get off the field on third down, as we talked about in many different sessions or whatnot, it doesn't matter how many points your offense put up. It could be a series or 2 where your offense stalls, and guess what? They score on those 2 possessions that they got, and you're playing catch up, and you don't catch them or whatnot. At the end of the day, the defense still got to come through and do the job. You can put asses in seats, but Your offense can be as explosive as it wants to be. But if they not winning games, ain't nobody going to pay for no tickets.
But
Point blank.
Here's the thing. The Chiefs defense, aside from a year or two, they've never been good. They've always been either, 20th or something like that. The problem is their offense is so damn explosive. Put it to you like this. The Chiefs defense, I think this year, they were ranked 20th, 22 or something like that. You look at Philly's defense, I think Philly had the second or third best defense in the league. They had the same amount of points scored, same amount of points, and they were both number one in the AFC and the NFC. But the difference was Kansas City's defense was way behind the Eagles' defense.
But I want you to make sure you put this out here because you didn't put this point in there. That defensive coordinator that they had did not blitz at all in that game. So if you're going to call it out straight because they didn't blitz at all. They didn't blitz at all in that game. Mahomes was so comfortable, bro. You could get Mahomes a smoking jacket, a pipe, and some slippers and give him a glass of cognac or whatever. He didn't get touched not once, bro. Jordan Davis is the only one who got a hand on him, and that was that play where he broke downfield and put the team in the position to win the ball game. That's the only time he got touched. But other than that, he was standing upright the whole game, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, the Eagles' defense kind of got exposed in the championship game, though. So what got the Chiefs back in that game wasn't the defense; it was the offense. It was the fact that I think they rattled off four straight touchdowns. I think they scored in every single possession in the second half.
They did.
Now, I'll take a step further. In 2016, when we went to the Super Bowl, we had the number one offense, and our defense was ranked 27th. So it really, to be honest, I'm not saying that defense doesn't win championships because history proves that it wins championships. But if you have a high-powered offense that can control the ball, we can control the ball now because we have a running game. A lot of these games were close because we controlled the ball. When you're getting 260 plus yards, or you're not 260, about 150 to 200 yards per game rushing, you can control the clock.
Yep.
So you add another receiver. Here's why I'm so offensive minded. If you have a great offense, the defense is pretty much helpless. So let's say you add another receiver on the other side in the draft. That's a stud. Let's say this guy that you're talking about, Drake London, threw the ball to. Well, we saw what happened in Cincinnati when they got Chase. Joe Burrow, first year, they went straight to the Super Bowl. Offensive line was absolute ass, and they made it to the Super Bowl. Right now, if you put a receiver on the other side, that's just say a number 2. None of these defenses can stack the box. No defense can put 8 in the box because now you have to worry about Kyle Pitts in the middle. Drake London has showed, hey, I'm a viable number 1. Then you got Cordell Patterson, who's pretty much the checkmate piece on the chessboard. You can't put 8 in the box. You can't bracket anybody. This helps Desmond Ridder. This is why I'm so hell-bent on the offensive side of the ball, because it helps this young guy. Your defense, they're going to take care of that. There's no doubt in my mind they're going to take care of that this year with the money and the draft picks we got. So that's why I'm telling people this team is a 10-win. This is a 10-win team next year.
That's what I'm saying.
Period. They should have been a 10-win. We should have won. Fam, if we being honest, let's just get butt naked right here. We should have won the division this year.
We both said that. Said that. Because the problem was it was coaching, stubbornness, and coaching.
With all the holes that we had,
cost us 4 games this year. Let's be real. The offense cost us actually 5 games this year. The offense cost us.
With all the holes that we had, we still should have won 10 games. I don't think this team wins anything south of 10 games next year. I liked what I saw in Desmond Ridder in that last game. You can tell he was getting comfortable. And in those 4 games, no turnovers. No turnovers. The kid's got a confidence about him. I'm gonna start calling Algier the Kool-Aid man. He's just gonna run through the line. That's what I need. He's the Kool-Aid man.
Hold on. We can't call him the Kool-Aid man. That's Lil William Andrews right there.
Hey,
Coach was hesitant about that, but I said this earlier during that season. Coach was like, him and Steve was like, do not call him that. You can't put him in that category. I said, he's sharing carries now, and he broke William Andrews' record. Imagine if he starts the whole season. He literally obliterates that damn record.
He started next year. He's your RB1 next
Oh
year.
no, I'm saying for this year as a true rookie. If he starts this year, he doesn't break the record at the end of the season. He obliterates that record, even with sharing carries.
And you get Caleb Huntley back. I mean, they're straight there. So you just move Cordell Patterson again, man. I'm confident with this team. That's why I'm glad that we're not chasing Lamar Jackson. So now we can just further build on this team. This defense needs help. And let's be honest, fam, this team right now, we just dying for a winning season at this point. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're chomping at the bit for a winning season because we haven't seen one of those in about 5 years.
I don't want to see any less than 45 sacks next year.
Gee, please, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, damn. We might as well have been shopping at Aldi. No, we ain't got no sacks for you. You carry your own shit out.
I mean, he's not lying. I mean, when you look at Philly and they had 3 players that had more sacks than we had in 3 years, I mean, it just takes you to a certain place. So I like Mark, man. I think we're gonna be defense heavy in the draft. I think the new defensive coordinator is gonna have more input and be like, look, I need him. You know what? Kirk will put him on the board. I need him.
Remember this about Ryan Nielsen. Nielsen is a master when it comes to things, and you're talking about a defense or whatnot with Ryan Nielsen. He's taking guys from smaller schools or whatnot, like that kid Davenport. He took Davenport out of UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio. Mm-hmm. And that was a brand new program, like literally a brand new program where they got some guys that is, that's on point. I'm going to give you a guy that everybody better look at. And this is my thing. If Ritter doesn't pan out, I want Ritter to pan out. Frank Harris Jr. out of UTSA, same school that Davenport came from. Dude literally had Heisman numbers, but because he came out of UTSA, they didn't give him that. And oh yeah, he's also trained by Quincy Carter on the regular, by the way. So if you look at it, dude can ball. Dude literally balled his behind off. They lost in the bowl game this year. Couldn't help that. But you look at Nielsen's defense. Nielsen got Shy Tuttle. You got Davenport. He had Mario Williams. You had he took Marcus Lattimore. Like that defense that they had, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, even though I'm not a fan of his, he just fit the system that they have. But he balled out in Philly because they ran the same defense that they ran in New Orleans. This dude is aggressive all the way around. So he's gonna have dudes that's ready to hunt, bro. It's time. It's time to stop being. I hate to say the term, but I'm gonna say it like this: it's time to stop being conservative. It's time to stop being Republican with our play calling on defense. It's time to let these boys go hunt. It's time to go eat. It's time to send them hounds out, and you start picking them. You start picking these birds off in the air. Real talk. It's time.
Hey, I've always said this for years. I want a defense. I can take 2 15-yard penalties just to send a damn message.
Exactly.
Now, if you give me 3, we got an issue. You get 2. If you get to a guy late and you absolutely tear into his ass, I'm gonna act like I'm mad. But once we go down there, once halftime hits, hey, good hit. We need some of those guys. We need dirty work guys. And Atlanta, for the longest, we've had politicians on our team.
No, we didn't.
Guys that say all the right things.
We didn't have politicians. Hold up. We had Bible thumpers. Stop it. Hey, politicians get dirty. We had them good old church boys.
No, I don't. I want damn near convicts on the defense. I want guys that are out there that are committing the crime in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I want a guy. Well, I'm like, God damn, that was a late hit. 15 yards. I'll take it.
Hey, Marcus, you're gonna be mad. Me, on the other hand, I'm gonna be sitting back kicking my feet up saying, thank you, Jesus. We finally got somebody around here with an attitude. We ain't got nobody that's quiet. Give me somebody that's gonna talk a little trash after they knock your jockstrap loose.
And I think we got those type of guys. You see Cordell Patterson, talking this shit. He get a first down.
We ain't got that on defense. Well, we ain't got that on defense, bro.
That's what I'm saying. We need to get some guys that are convict players. The longest yard, those type of guys. Guys that just, hey man, I'm trying to knock your damn I'm trying to knock your damn head off.
Wait a minute. Which longest yard you going with? You going with the original or you going with the Adam Sandler? Because I want the original longest yard.
I broke his neck.
I don't do Nelly as the running back. I gotta go to the old stuff. I want hard
high tower.
Football. Hey, hold on, how he said it? He said, I'm gonna hit him with an MP.
hey man, right. I hate to say this, but I want a type of defense where I can believe these guys actually bumped a line of coke before they got out there. Just tough guys. I'm sorry. I want guys that look crazy.
Hey, Marcus, that means we getting ready to be the Oakland Raiders of the South, bro.
Hey man, when those offenses look at defenses like that, they're intimidated. Look, case in point, you look at the
Niners. When that eye's twitching.
Man, look, the one thing I respect about Aaron Donald so much is Aaron Donald plays to hurt people every down. And he makes no apologies about it. Steps over guys, no apologies.
Well, you know who he learned that from? Like, he was already a vicious player, but God rest his soul, he got to meet a Rams legend who literally was that David Deacon Jones. People don't realize Deacon Jones can, 15th round pick. Deacon said, hey, you got 265 pounds, 275 pounds of me. I'm running up to a 4.5. I'm the fastest that came off the ball. I'm not looking to put you in the hospital. I'm looking to put you in the morgue. He said, I have no remorse in my heart. The wounded will be shot. He said, I don't carry no prisoners. And he said, I want to beat his damn ass. Those were his exact words. If you go back to the NFL films, Deacon Jones had that interview. He literally said it just like that. And what's funny, people don't realize, like, y'all know who Rosie Greer is, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rosie Greer became a minister. Everybody sees that. Go back and look at the old footage of Rosie Greer when he was part of the Fearsome Foursome, when him, Deacon Jones, Merlin Olsen, and Lamar Lundy was sitting down. He didn't know Jesus at that time, bro. He found Jesus after he got out the game.
Yeah.
South Georgia guy, right out of Cuthbert County. I got to shout out those folks around there in South Georgia or whatnot, out of Colquitt County. That's where he's from. So
before Mark gets it, man, look, Aaron Donald, man, just look when he played the Falcons, how he picked up Devontae Freeman like a freaking toddler and marched them like 5 or 8 yards, and while offensive line just did like this.
And he was being nice on that play.
Look, man, at least Freeman showed he had heart. He was the only one that tried to fight it.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm confident that we about to get these guys because our DC, look at where he come from. The Saints. I hate to give the Saints any type of credit, but they got dirty work guys on their defense. They got guys that do not like the team that they're playing until the game's over with.
Well, just think about it. Nielsen came from under Pete Carroll when he played at USC, bro. So you think about that. He was around when Troy Polamalu and them boys was around, when they was paying for people's houses, getting them boys from South Central LA playing at UCLA back in the day. He was one of those boys. So we got a guy that's a Pete Carroll disciple, bro. He just happened to go up under Sean Payton as well and get a little bit of that old school Bill Parcells coaching, because Sean Payton is a part of that coaching tree. But last but not least, I'm gonna let you guys have it this one. I'm gonna put this question out and then we'll be done for the night. Why do you think NFL owners are possibly creating collusion to stop players from getting guaranteed large contracts? Marcus.
I mean, it's obvious. They make more money. Yeah. If they don't have fully guaranteed contracts, I mean, the NFL is making more money than it ever has. And a large part of that is they know they don't have to guarantee these damn contracts. Some of these you look at Aaron Rodgers' contract. his last 2 years of his contract, they're dummy years. For somebody like Deshaun Watson to make $230 million guaranteed, it's not the first fully guaranteed contract. I mean, Kirk Cousins had I think 2. So that's where the NFLPA wants to get in. These owners do not want to pay out fully guaranteed contracts to anybody. Not just quarterbacks. They don't want to give any of these players fully guaranteed money. So JJ Watt posted a tweet asking, like, how come a player who was a unanimous MVP, and I'm paraphrasing, how come everybody's out on this guy the moment they put the non-exclusive tag on him? It's clear that they're colluding. Problem is, you can't prove it. Yeah. That's the problem. You cannot.
Well, it's the Players Association has not stepped up and done what they're supposed to, because they take the CBAs. They need to take a stand, because, I mean, you have the revenue sharing. You don't have that in all the other sports. I mean, like they do in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but the NFL is the only league that you see somebody going worst to first every year too. You see what I'm saying? And the salary cap, they've got all that put in, and they're not going to. The owners aren't going to cut loose of that money as long as the Players Association stands in there and keeps letting them do it to them. I mean, they're going to have to take a stand at some point in time.
Killian, what you got?
Well, piggyback up what Coach was saying, they're going to have to stand up for themselves, to get something in return. I mean, it's like it goes back to the main thing is it's a business, and like you said, those owners are going to continue to keep doing what they're doing until somebody rocks their boat and makes them do something different. Yep. So I feel like there is collusion going on, but like you said, you got to be able to prove it, and like I said, you got to be able to say, hey, this is what we're demanding. Just like you would do a politician, and see if they'll, like I said, help you out in your favor. But like I say, until you do that, it's going to be the same thing that's going on right now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, to piggyback what marketing and coaching thing, especially with marketing, you got to go back to the last bargaining agreement that we did, and how we increased the regular season and shorten down the preseason. On the back end of that, I'm looking at just the overall of what the NFL is doing. When COVID hit and we took a cap hit and everybody was losing money and whatnot, they're already in the back of their mind like, look, we're tired of giving away these guaranteed contracts to players that play maybe we give a 5 year, they want to be out in 2 years. How do we mitigate that? So this been in the work for a while now. And now they're just trying to make Lamar Jackson an example of that. I'm like, okay, we're going to give you all this guaranteed money. Then a year or two, you get mad at the organization and you want to leave. Just look at the Kyler Murray situation. And then look at all the stipulations.
But turn it around, and let me ask you this: as an owner, it's kind of like when you go down to your CPA or the H&R Block or wherever at tax time, you're going to do exactly what's legally allowed for you to get by with to put money in your pocket at tax time, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to do it, and if it's there and it's there for them, they're going to do it. They got to change it. That's where it's coming down to, like that non-exclusive tag. When was the last time you saw a non-exclusive tag be put out there?
It's been a while.
I mean, but it's fully legal. Is the crazy thing about it. There's nothing you could do about it. They voted for that in the collective bargaining agreement. They allowed that to be put in there. So you can't bitch about it if you voted it in.
Agreed.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, we've come to, so not to cut it short, because we have run over our time tonight. We are coming to the end of the road. Got to get to the tracks. I do appreciate you gentlemen coming through here and whatnot. You already know what it is, man. It's been a blessing to have you guys on to talk about this. Same time next week. You already know what it is, 8 p.m. Normally we won't go this long, but we had our brother, our partner, one of the guys who literally has been around since I started the Birdcage and whatnot, and everybody else came around, and they've been a blessing to me. Everybody that's behind the scenes that people don't see, thank you for what you do, Scoop, Bree, Sean, Quintez,
Yo,
um, Coach Tonio, Melton, and everybody that's on this panel right now. So everyone that's in here, and my guy Cam, he left early, but Cam is in and out. So I'm making sure that I thank all my team that's been around since day one. I definitely appreciate y'all. And y'all have been a blessing to my life and what we're doing here. And we're going to bless these Falcon fans this year with a few other things. Because Marcus, you helped us. You helped me get my stuff on track. So I want to tell you thank you. Take a minute to say thank you for
thank you.
giving me an opportunity when we were in another group. And you pretty much was like, dog, you got something, man. You need to go ahead and just do it. And, fortunately, ran into some good people that are on here with me now that's like family to me that literally have helped me create something that I've always wanted to do. And it's been a blessing. So, man, thank you for giving me the opportunity. And, thank you for coming on and supporting what we do, because we definitely support what my brother does on the mic. Check it out on YouTube. This man is on point with what he does. And also check him out on Facebook if you're friends with him. Advice for life, money, relationships, football. He does it all. Man is a man of all trades. So I want to thank you for coming, Marcus. This is a long thank you list, but sometimes you got to tell people thank you to let them know that they are appreciated, because, man, a lot of people don't thank people around here, man. That's a forgotten art. So we definitely appreciate what you brought to the table, and thank you for just giving me an opportunity, bro.
Hey man, it's not a problem at all, man. You got a good thing going. You got a good panel on here tonight. And at the end of the day, man, we all love this team. That's uh, uh, all of this stuff comes from a place of love, all of it. So when I hear people talking about the team, I'm not going to be long winded with this, but I tell people all the time the way I got started was we took a loss so bad I had to vocalize this in a
I remember.
video. I couldn't. There were no words I can put in a post that justified it. I had to make a video. So and then the rest is history. So it's great to see, people create platforms for other people to talk about this game. I tell you all the time, I learn stuff from other people, all the time. Listening to videos and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So it's always beneficial, man, and it's always love, man. I told you, you had something, and here you are, flying high. So and I said that, and I just saw you put that damn shit on the screen.
Hey, man, it's a trademark for us, man. And it's been like, and here's the thing. We faced some adversity. We went through some things with some challenges we had. With some issues that we had when we first started. But
Yeah.
when they, when it comes to whether it's other platforms, other, personal issues, life, whatever, man, you know what? Everybody that's in this Birdcage family, man, we always flying high, regardless of what problems might come low, or what type of issues might happen on a low staff, man. You gotta fly high, because guess what? If you're a falcon or any kind of bird of prey, you're not down on the ground with pigeons.
Yeah.
You up in the air and you hunt. You're a bird of prey. You're a predator. You are supposed to hunt. And hopefully these Falcons do that for us this year. But we gonna sit back, kick it, relax, get off this here. Everybody chill out for the night. We definitely are gonna have a draft show coming up. We are gonna have our boy Marcus back on here with our draft show, and we're gonna have a full house with that. And we definitely are gonna be coming up with some more mock drafts. And also, we have an event that's gonna be coming up. Y'all stay tuned for that. And we possibly might have some merchandise coming out pretty soon. So y'all stay blessed. Tip your waiters. If you at Magic City, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and tip the shoe models for us, man. You know, I got to keep the PG for the family. And hey, we love you. We'll see you next week. Y'all be blessed. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.